Seeing a little bit of a bounce back here to start things off this morning as we get going on the day before Nvidia earnings day. We get a huge monster AI deal announced this morning, quote unquote, billions it's worth, according to CEO Lisa Su of AMD. AMD shares up big time here this morning, better part of 11% at the highs, coming back in a little bit right now, but Meta going to spend, again, quote unquote, billions on this hardware deal, mostly processors going to be used for their data center coming up for Meta. So we'll talk about that coming up, what that means for AMD, what that means potentially for Nvidia as well, ahead of a big report coming tomorrow night. It's worth noting, Meta shares on this news not really doing much, a little bit of a downtick, but they've been trending to the downside for the past couple of days here after that big day back on Friday. I mean, 632, if you zoom out, 632 was a big level last week on the support side of things. Nothing in the way too significant anyways of economic data to deal with today or tomorrow. We get into Thursday and Friday, we will get a little bit more on the inflation side of things. I mean, IBM with just an absolute horrible day yesterday. We'll touch on that. FedEx as well in the news today on the tariff side of things. Probably the first big name anyways. There's been a few already, but
Exactly.
First big name to file a lawsuit to try to reclaim some of this tariff-related money.
Costco being named as well as the other. There's a bunch of different ones. I wonder if they're going to all amalgamate and kind of take this on. It's going to be interesting to watch, Brendo. It's going to be very convoluted legal issue. Good morning, guys. There's a whole lot to talk about. Tesla, European sales in focus again, and not in a positive way. Also, Bitcoin really dropping off aggressively overnight, losing 63,000 momentarily. Home Depot, Hims, Keurig, Dr. Pepper, all reporting this morning. And a good note with Intel, the tie-up there, Brendo. And cybersecurity names. That was an interesting day. You mentioned IBM, but can't overshadow the cybersecurity names. They all got decimated yesterday. Yeah. PanW's already been beat up after earnings, so it didn't drop as much, but CrowdStrike, Zscaler, Okta all got clipped. All
on the back of the thought, at least, of the possibility of AI coming to take their lunch, essentially, and replace some of the products, replace some of the services that they have. All right, it's a huge day around here. We're so excited for this, and it's officially live. I just finally got the go-ahead here. So as of 8 o'clock this morning, guys, the campus is live. This is 3 years, better part of 3 years in the making, from start to finish. We're so proud of this. This is the basis of education that every single person in this room started their paths with and started their trading careers with. So we're so excited to offer that to you. We spent a lot of time on getting the quality right, getting the videos shot properly, edited properly, all of the educational content in there. There's tons and tons and tons of content. Can't emphasize that enough. We're working on some of the links right now. You can go to tradertv.live, and it is live and ready to go. We're going to have links in the description coming up. I'm working on that as we speak, so bear with us for the next couple of minutes here, guys. But Neil, Sean, I mean, thoughts here. We're super excited, obviously. The day has finally arrived.
Yeah, absolutely. We're psyched for the Academy today. It's a launch, and expect to hear a lot about that today. Like, get the cheering of the crowd is going as we've been letting you guys know. We were waiting around and making sure we produce this the right way to get out there for everybody so that it meets our standards. And there you see some of the videos in there, lessons, basics, a little more advanced, discipline. It's really just about every trader's journey, because it's not, the thing about trading is you got to treat it, you got to take it seriously, right? It's about learning and consistently and continuously learning. It will always be adaptive, the Academy, because the markets are never changing. One day is not going to be like the next, and the rules are always going to be moving around and changing, because that's how life is, but that's how the markets are, more importantly. And actually, speaking of how things change very quickly, like AMD, this story went from wow, AMD to already pulling back $10 on AMD. So it bounced off 200 on this further Meta tie-up, further that partnership. And the other side of the coin is going into tomorrow, because we've got, hey, Nvidia reports tomorrow, by the way. you haven't heard, you might know this company. But their down a point actually was a little bit worse. So they've been able to get a little bit of a bounce as they were headed in the other direction on this. Obviously, AMD picking up some of the not some of the slack, but some of the potential business from Nvidia, and that had them down, but not much. Still, at the end of the day here, volatility is going to reign, and it hasn't really even been in the chip names outside of AMD moving today. Let's be real, it was the software names. Like yesterday, it was all about IBM with a record down day. You got to go back a long, long time before I was born for a day like this on IBM.
No, 2020.
So 20. Oh well, okay. Really?
Yeah, I know. You're about 25. Oh yeah, you weren't born at 2020.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, my bad.
No, but it was a historic day, and don't forget,
very historic.
Don't forget the cybersecurity names. Like IBM was so bad that you might forget that the cybersecurity names got smoked. CrowdStrike was down double digits again, and the banks got smoked yesterday. Specifically, going to be looking at the XLF for the first time in quite some time. You lost major support. Like I don't remember. I said this yesterday. I don't recall outside of the financial crisis sort of seeing the way that this was selling off in the morning here. So let's be real. There's a lot to watch here today. It's not just going to be about the chips, but it is pretty. It's a big story for AMD. You'd feel better if it didn't just drop 5%.
This makes me actually feel good because like I'm going short. Like I've already, as soon as I came in, Shreef's like, oh man, big story with AMD. I'm like short, and that went to 226. You know, your only downside right now. Let's see. I mean, look. I mean, hopefully it does go back up to the upside. The market needs good stories, that's for sure. And it seems like right now, AMD and Meta. But we had the same deal with Nvidia last week. Something similar. So we can see definitely a pullback about to happen here on AMD. AMD is about to get cooked, by the way. Like if that news didn't come out, like they actually dropped it on pretty much exactly the right spot. But yeah, anyways, I have one stock written down so far on the note. It is AMD. We'll be looking at silver as well. But you know, today for me, I put the link in the description right there for the chat. Anybody that's here, this is kind of what we're talking about. You know. It's the journey. So it's all of us here at Trader TV Live, and you know, the basics, the software, the first trades, how to go ahead and you know go into your first trades and think about you know how those might work out, and you know there's 7 lessons, 15 topics. It's all right here, you know, right now, and these are the hosts that will be part of this. You know, the foundation of execution, protecting your position, dynamic risk management. Like these are all going to be broken down, and then you got to go through them all. But you know, once you click on it, I have to go through I'm in progress right now. These are all live videos, right? And so you can see they're all going to come through your first trades, all of this stuff. It's a schooling. And that's what the whole point of this is, Trader TV Academy. So, you know, go check it out right now. I'm logged in, ready to go. There's even journals, there's mission statements, everything like that you can get in here. Your log, you can start logging things into here and share it with everybody. You know, it's a great opportunity. There's a site tour here as well for everybody. Our full library of everything that we have. So it's all here, man. There's a knowledge hub, searchable. So we're really excited to drop this for you guys and just you know let us know some feedback in the chat there. But I think it's definitely something for definitely a beginning trader that's looking to learn. And then we have you know real executions in there. Discussing about that and some of the risk management that we put on. So yeah, we're really excited for it. So get into the chat and let us know what you guys are thinking, and yeah, subscribe and go for it, right? It's definitely something that's been a long time in the running. So we're really proud to have Shreef on it, Joe, myself, Neil, Brendan, we're all there. So you know, go have a look and see what's going on. I'm just having a look right now at Bitcoin, 63,000. Good thing we don't have that. Yeah, and still going lower. Good thing we didn't get that 5 handle on it. Was thinking that we would. The market's actually up today, so that's nice. So we'll see if that can hold on. But I mean, with an up market and a down another 2.3% in Bitcoin, like it's really good that the market's not down 1% again here today, because I think crypto continues to fall down. So we'll have to write down some IBIT on the note today and see if we can get involved in that one. But yeah, man, SoFi, JP Morgan, you just showed XLF. Like some of these names getting absolutely crushed. Charles Schwab as well, SCHW. Yeah, there was a paper that was released or whatever that was talking about the S&P 500 being down 38% by 2028, and that was a lot of that due to the productivity you know, of a lot of these companies getting lowered due to the fact that Anthropic and some of these Claude bots can come in and eat a lot of these companies' lunches, you know, and do what we're paying these companies to do. And they can do it much better, faster, cheaper. So we worry a little bit about that. You know, AI robots, managing your own portfolios, you know, just everything being answered, you know, online rather than having to go in and see an advisor or something like that. Bring Schwab all the way back down. Like, this stock was cooking, man. Now it's down to $92 as well. Plus we have some credit card worries. You know, yesterday we had American Express. You talked about, you know, a big, huge move down in IBM. I wonder what that was for AXP yesterday, as that was 10% to the downside as well. So there's a lot of stock that are really coming out. And I just feel like this is a pretty aggressive move. But when you sort of zoom out, that's where the trick is. You know, a lot of us aren't looking at our accounts every single day. And if you are, it would be a problem because, you know, the last couple months have not been really well. But even though AXP does come down into there, you're just back to where you were in October, where you were in July, you know? So some of these moves, I think, are going to be a little further to the extension on the downside a little bit more, but you know, at some point these names are going to be buys. And I mean, even a name like CrowdStrike, would love this stock, and it just getting crushed as well. It was down another 10% right there. It's down. Sharif was telling me it's down almost $100 here in just a couple of days. So bad news, but it just goes all the way back to the tariff levels as well. So you give back everything you made or held on to throughout the last almost 12 months, and you get right back into April here. So we're going to wait to see if there's some bouncing spots on CrowdStrike down there. So yeah, man, should be another exciting day. That is for sure.
Yeah, the maybe on those bouncing spots. So that's the thing. And there was a lot of people got let's just caught some strays yesterday. We talked about SoFi catching some strays, but you know what? There was strength out there, and it wasn't the metals. Silver had a late day run there, was actually up. They're actually down 1% now, but late day rally in silver. You saw gold do pretty well as well here, so GLD should be on some minds, but there's a little bit of a pullback. I think silver is stronger than gold, at least in this moment. So we're it's a bit different. Like, we're coming into this day with a bit of a bounce, so there's a bit of a reverse, but it's a big time prove me moment. Like, just because we come in some days up 0.5 and we get like that 0.7, you look across the board and it's sustaining those moves. That's been a little bit of trouble. And when that doesn't happen, it's just usually just waiting for your spot to short. I don't know what's changed yet with regards to that. Maybe something changes tomorrow night with Nvidia. Certainly didn't change. Before we throw back up to the desk, it didn't change that much with HIMS because that's actually down another 5% here after reporting. Yeah, not looking good. It was not the breakout that would cause shorts to cover. It would be the other. It just emboldens them because you're making some fresh lows. So yeah, just another name which is looking pretty weak. I don't think this will be on that small cap gapper list there, Sharif. Oh.
It's a light bunch today, Neil. I see one here, VIR, but it's already losing the bid in a hurry, sadly. And you know how I feel about the ones that are breaking down below VWAP. Here's what we're looking at. We were looking at a breakout yesterday around 5 o'clock. I love these ones that really move in the aftermarket and the pre-market because there's no halt parameters, so there's really nothing standing in their way. But oftentimes, because there are no halt parameters, they extend a little bit beyond, you know, what would be normal. And then we're looking for a big reversion. And that's what we're looking at right here, Brendo. This one looks like the classic double top VIR, looking like it's coming down in a hurry.
Crazy volume behind that too already, I saw. Home Depot, another one, not crazy volume, but nice move here this morning on decent report, better than expected results. In fact, on the left-hand side over here, lots of green, which is typically good. Wasn't much, I just read through this real quick. I mean, the sales forecast, I guess, basically in line. Everything else though, nice beat here for Home Depot, but just noticing, call is on right now as of 8 o'clock if anyone's watching this, but nothing terrible about this. I mean, there's a couple of analyst notes. Volume is pretty disappointing though.
You know what they've been complaining about for the last couple of years, right? Interest rates are too high. People don't want to move out of their home, and people don't really want to take on more debt to upgrade their homes. One, because interest rates are still high, and two, a lot of people did it during COVID, so they don't need to do it again.
Yeah.
So finally, some good news here for Home Depot. Look, they're not tanking after earnings, with the revenue coming in at $38 billion. Just a bit of a, a bit of a beat beat there. Adjusted EPS ahead. Revenue did decline again, though, and that's several quarters in a row, 4% year-over-year drop. But they are still profitable, $2.57 billion. But again, less than they brought home last year. It was about a $3 billion raise. But I also read yesterday that I think the interest rates for mortgages dropped below 6%, I think, since 2022. So this has to be a good sign for them here, as looking to ease some pressure on new buyers.
Comparable store sales 0.4 in the U.S. specifically, 0.3 to the upside. Sorry, 0.4 total, 0.3 in the U.S. on its own. This thing, it took a hard left turn and just started going back up. Almost the second the new year ticked over on the calendar here. We've been consolidating higher. This should help things out if we can hold this, guys. But might be one of those cases today, specifically with the market's going to have to show a little bit of strength here to help out Home Depot.
It might. I mean, I can see a world in which we still have software stays weak and cyber stays weak and crypto stays weak, but Home Depot's able to bounce. That can make some sense to me in the environment that we're in. But it was awfully mixed. I mean, you get the declining revenues. Fine, but then on the other side of the coin, you'd be like, oh well, there's, the tariff ruling certainly is going to be a benefit for them. You would think, even though that half the material sourced in the U.S., it's still going to be potentially a net benefit. You do have a good support level that's formed in here on HD off that 200. Like it's above the 50, it's above the 200. You didn't get any follow through, however, and that would be the problem because it wasn't a perfect report, because you still got multiple quarters of that declining revenue. It's one of those, it might be good enough, but the volume, again, pretty light, needs to start holding above that 90, really needs to break 395 if better. But I can actually see a world where we don't necessarily have to have the market do super well for Home Depot to go today. If the buyers, we tend to be in a market right now where, sentiment only, the overall market sentiment only matters to a certain collect few. Like if the Nasdaq starts dumping off, and even if the ES is dumping off, it might not reflect too poorly on a Home Depot that reported. I just wish they hadn't, they could turn around that revenue decline, which, that's got to show some signs of turning. But that's the one thing to point to that doesn't look good here. And then throw in the fact if you're day trading, the volume is relatively low in Home Depot like it always is. So let them get through the call, let them get through the opening range, and then see if it can settle down. It needs to take out that 395, and then it can really start to go.
Yeah, nice. Just not enough volume, really, like 100,000 shares, so there's not much going on. I mean, a lot of the volume just on this one little print here at 8 o'clock as well. So, yeah, I mean, I like it. Company projected EPS between 14.69 and 15.28. Estimates 507. So there is a lower side to their guide. But I think it's just being a little conservative there with Home Depot. So that's fine by me. I mean, it's just kind of sitting here not doing a whole heck of a lot. This is a name that hopefully could not be affected, and we'll have to wait to see by an AI right now. I don't know what it can do to Home Depot, except for hopefully make it a little bit better, more efficient, easier to find the products, help them maybe with the website better. I don't know. Some of the employees, maybe they could have some sort of, an app on them where they can help answer questions a little bit better, educate their employees to help the retail customer when you go in there looking for something specific. So I actually think Home Depot is a survivor of all of this, as I think many retail names can benefit from the change that we're seeing right now with AI. I hate saying AI all the time, but just with how this market's moving, yeah, good level above the 200 period moving average. Again, really like Home Depot. You mentioned Costco earlier as well. I believe Sharif did when they were talking about FedEx there and some of the tariffs, looking to get a little bit of money back. But yeah, right there. I wonder if they'd sort of sniffed out that the Supreme Court might have made some decisions like this, as Costco was really getting hit on those worries on a high PE. Well, that PE is back to 40 or 50 again all of a sudden, so or maybe even higher than that, maybe 60 or 70. With Costco trying to break through that $1,000 mark. So what a nice run for them. I really like Costco with that guaranteed revenue source of the memberships. So I think this name continues to work in the retail spot. And we saw Walmart get hit over the last couple of days as well, and then battle back yesterday. So it was nice to see Walmart catching a little drift there. And with a good report from Home Depot being up that little percentage spot there, maybe you get a nice move today in Walmart as well. And you can see here on the daily chart for Walmart, there's that nice move down. 4 days straight to the downside, and then 1 day up. So we'll see if Walmart can find a base here around 120 as well. All right, Joe, what you got for us on that side?
Got a lot going on here, Katina, man. We're going to take a look at some of the options activity from yesterday, guys. Let's hop right into things. We're going to kick it off with Tesla. Relatively, I mean, it was a mixed bag here. I'm going to pull up some of the results on yesterday's session, which I think is important to note so we can correlate it with our options contract. I was going over things last night, so relatively weak, right? And what we want to do and focus here is like, well, Joe, why are we looking at these calls? Why are we looking at 420? It's such a ways away. It's 20 points away. But it's time and time again, and someone had a fantastic question in the chat. It's like, Joe, how come the options market is so good at predicting potential directions? Well, because it's essentially an inside look at where the vast majority of activity is and where the larger participants may be laying. And I think what we can do here and what we can take away from what we do every morning is just, you have to see how underlyings are reacting around specific areas, and that's why I wanted to pull up this 420 mark. I mean, we had a high of around $410 yesterday, but we'll have a hard time breaching this 420 mark. Once again, we're 20 points away from that, but we couldn't even come anywhere close because the downwards pressure was just a little bit too much. And what we have there at that specific strike price is 13,000 open contracts with volume around 14,500. And if you go higher in your options chain as well too, you're going to be able to identify even more open interest. I wanted to bring us the closest strike price with the most amount of size and activity, just for an example to say, hey, look, we are probably going to struggle throughout the week to even go and test these zones. And if we do, you want to see how you react around them. And if the hedge funds or participants start pushing price lower below these specific strike prices. Now, we had an example in, I believe it was silver or NVDA. It was NVDA on Friday. Essentially, I'm like, hey, watch out for this 190 mark. And then look where we closed on Friday. It was like 189.37 or something along those lines. But it's just south enough for those contracts to expire worthless, all right? So you can see we only have a $3 spread here, guys. Your delta sitting at that $36 metric, and then your gamma exposure relatively cool. And with Tesla, our Vega here, 48.6%, relatively cool. You can see that typically heightened. So, I mean, maybe we get somewhat of a rebound here, but once again, you want to keep an eye on some of these specific zones because we keep pushing price lower, and it's the exact same thing with NVDA. Moving forward, we're going to take a look at Apple with the 270 mark. All right, so same narrative, guys. A lot of volume coming in here at that specific area, and then open interest sitting around 12,600. $4 spread, relatively light, and your delta exposure, considering it's OTM, sitting around that $28 metric. Gamma, 0.038, not too bad, and your at-the-money IV sitting around 30. I want to pull up this contract here momentarily before we send it back to the desk and see what we got going on. But we go over this time and time again, just the decay within these contracts is something that you need to be extremely cautious about, because unless you have a massive sustained implied volatility spike or a really strong rally, it's hard to gain back the value of these. We went over that Tesla contract moments ago. It's literally worth fractions of what it was, and this one's down 88% in the span of what, February, less than a month, right? So that contract will never recover, guys, especially if it expires this Friday.
Thanks as always, Joe. And yeah, we have 2 super chats during that time. We throw them up there, Andre, if we can. I just saw one of them, Steve, but there we go. It's Toll is the first one, Toll AI. Good morning. Good morning to you as well. Thanks for all you do. Can you please go at Grail, or look at Grail, I'm assuming. You want us to look at Grail? Do you think it is going below or too low 30? Or maybe you mean to the $30 level. Yeah, this was probably, we were sort of talking about the names that were really bad in the last week. Like nothing did worse in this last week. No questions asked. All we can do is look at the technicals here. That's all you can. I don't think anybody should ever try to catch a falling knife. Anytime you have an extreme event like this, the first thing you want to see is there a dead cat bounce? Can it hold support? Like, give it a couple of days. Well, the first flat bottom break failed. That was yesterday. It held a support at 48, fail. And it's got another one where it's just baselining for support. So if that fails, it was $10 to $15 down. Another move like that gets you almost 30. If it just does what it did prior, hold support and flush, it does look like it's held to 30. It's just like an earnings name. If the buyers can't hold for a couple of days and put in that higher low, then you're still in a downward pattern. It's kind of one of those like sell till it's not sort of setups there. unfortunately. So yeah, it's not a very good look. I mean, there's some bad charts. This is like the worst chart in the market the last couple of sessions. And then we have another super chat here from Steve Irwin, our good friend. I just want to say thank you guys for the continuous advice. You caught the AMD move and made 33K. Was that a long overnight, or did you short it from the top? Because it could be ambiguous. You could swing overnight, I suppose, or you could have been just like jam short at the top. So kind of curious, Steve. Let us know. Congratulations, brother. Either way, obviously great shot and great opportunity there. Couldn't know the news was going to come in overnight.
No, I mean, that's many years of profit right there. One day, one trade. Congratulations right there to our guy. One more time, but yeah, so it's almost coming up to 8:30 right now. AMD, here's the stock in question, you know, up now 10%, was up a lot more, up to that 226, and then fade city. So I'm already have the fade ready to go on this one. I'm talking about VWAP, that's 218, up here in and around 220, also getting really excited for that. I'm just in the middle of making a post right now. You can go over to Trader TV Live Academy, and I'm about to post something up here about the Mag 7. Brendan's got a post in here as well. Neil's gonna figure out how to log in, then he's gonna get right in. But yeah, we're really excited, man, for all of this. So, you know, come through it today, figure out what's going on with our Campus Academy, Trader's Journey, the basics, the P8 software. It's all here right now. There's a little bit of a promo video for you. Go find it out. I'm gonna drop the link one more time in the tradertv.academy, but /sign up is what you want to do. It's all about even, you know, the software that we use as well, all here. So anything about that, you know, download it, download the software. The Academy's here. We'll talk about teaching all the different modules that we have, fundamental setting up your Windows, the hotkey configuration. This is just all for the software that you're going to wind up using. And then our missions, the campus program, we're going to talk about that a little bit. Some of the EFS libraries that we have there. You could journaling. I've put a journal in when I started using this software. It was about a trade. I have a trading review up in there as well, so you can go check that out. Everything's in here. If you ever get shut down, how can you review that? You know, just a whole bunch of different stuff that's in here, all great. And here it is, you know, why journaling matters. There's just all this stuff in here. We talk about setting up your own journal. Well, it's right here. You can use our Academy software to do that, right? Did you stick to your plan? You know, what about your emotions? Everything like that, right? Entries and exits aligned with your strategy. Like things that, you know, we talk about all the time, but it's all right here available today in the Academy. So go make sure you sign up, go figure it out, and we'll get going on that as the day goes. So, but yeah, I'm really excited to get some AMD going on here. I'm going to also, you know, potentially put up some sticky notes in the Academy as well, so that should be good. AMD up 10%. Bitcoin just broke 63,000.
And Steve Irwin, thank you for. You could just send us the message. You didn't have to send a super chat. We appreciate you for doing it as well. Last night at 199. So it must have been in the aftermarket, and then held it overnight. And I'm sure you obviously rang the register as well. So shout out to you. Congratulations, Steve Irwin, our good friend. We do have another treat that's coming up because we have a guest that I don't think we've had on in quite some time. I'm pretty sure he's been on the show at one point, but it's been a minute, and we'll delighted to have someone from Real Trading. As Randy comes through with the cup of Joe, there's a few things you need in the morning.
Joe. Thank you.
One of them is to make sure that you stick to your routine. And sometimes the routine also includes a little bit of Joe so we can get going right in the morning. That's what it's all about. I just saw INT into it. Looks like it's popping here as well. I saw a few people in the chat, and remember, for Tom H out there, still, if you want to throw any names in the chat, or if you're just interested in something, same holds. If you're new here, just make sure you use the $sign in there. See $INTU. Someone just put it in there and did it with the $sign. So you got AMD, obviously number 1. You can have Intuit on number 2. LRMR, small capper. I'm not familiar with that one. That's going to be number 3. I got IonQ, HIMS is in there. So this is all in our stock visualizer, and it allows us to sort of track the names that are moving around the most. And obviously, a couple of them are up significantly. The only one that's red, SoFi's on the list, but HIMS. We got some economic numbers coming out at 8:30, and then we'll get right into it.
A couple people asking a very important question, guys. If you're looking for the link, it's below right now. Go to the description. It looks like this. Just pull up the actual show link. We're right here. So it's the top link now in the description of the show, tradertv.academy/sign up, and you will get that very, very quickly. Real quick, yeah, nothing significant on the economic calendar this morning. We had that ADP weekly job number, 12.75 thousand, comes out versus 11.5 last week. So that was basically a non-event. Tons of Fed speak today. Bostic, Collins, Waller, Cook, to name a few. 10 o'clock, probably the most important number. The Conference Board's Consumer Confidence Index coming up at 10 a.m. Just reading a note, we were talking about the AMD Meta deal. Just reading a note on Apple going to buy a whole bunch of chips from TSM. So TSM was up anyway, maybe on this story, but just coming across once again here. Apple with a new purchase here for TSM. So Taiwan Semi looking pretty good here.
Yeah, well, Apple was their biggest customer until Nvidia came along, so not surprised that they're doing that, Brendo. But Apple, for me, is going to be focused next week because there's a 3-day conference where they're going to be unveiling new products. It's widely speculated already what those products are going to be. It's going to be a cheaper MacBook. It should be starting at about $799, and it's going to have a less advanced chip. It's going to be a mobile chip if the rumors are accurate. We're also going to get new iPads, new MacBook Pro. So Apple will be in focus for 3 days next week, and I'm hoping, obviously, to hear some information on Apple Intelligence because I think it's long delayed. I'm
paying way too much attention to the chat this morning and less on content. Anyways, I'll take two. Okay. This is the show link. So just if you're watching the show, just go to the description below, and in that description there's a whole bunch of links. The very, very top one, which is right here, is now the Academy link. So just if you go to show more, which is here, show more, and then the links all right at the top of the description. Very easy to find for the Academy guys if anybody was having issues.
All right, yeah, go over there. We're gonna keep talking about the Academy and getting that all figured out. But the link is now there in the description. You go tradertv.academy. So here it is one more time. Go grab that again. It's just about learning together and stuff that we've done. Trading is a very, very sort of lonely journey, and it's always nice to have a sort of a backdrop to go to talk to. Learn from, everything like that. Put in your opinions, put in everything, so we can learn as a group and as a community. So Trader TV Academy is now live, and we're super excited to get that going. Like all the trades, everything's there. The hotkeys. There's me doing this. Like that. So tons of videos and their real life experience from traders here that have gone through this journey, gone through learnings, starting from zero, getting to where we are today, things like that. So go check it out right now, and we'll be able to talk about some of those highlights as we go throughout the day, and looking for feedback as well from you guys there in the chat. Once you sign up, let us know how it's going. Already well received. So thank you to everybody for that so far. Bitcoin 62.7 coming back in right now. So yeah, nice little move to the downside here for crypto.
Yeah, it's still to the downside on crypto. There's not much you can do about it, but our good friend, what's interesting, because as much as it's been bad for Tom Lee, he's got to be happy about the AMD. I just thought of that because he tends to like that name. But unfortunately, no, the other side of the equation for crypto is what's been going on in some of these ETFs. And that's part of the environment that we're sitting in right now. That's sort of the treasury plays. And that's part of the environment we're in. It's just a different set of users or owners and buyers that have come into the market. And with the advent of the ETFs and the treasury plays, they're a little quicker to exit. And it's going to take some new buyers, which haven't seemed to formulate yet, to create a bit of a bottom. And like I look at BMNR and I wonder, is it today going to do that flat bottom break? I'm not going to bother hitting the key for this, because I feel like this last week, you're hitting the flat bottom break key like every single day on something significant. And really, this isn't the actual local bottom. On the 5th, it got a little bit lower than this, but it's right here. Like, it's teetering. There's a gap fill from about 18.5 to $17 on BMNR. if Bitcoin and ETH make another leg lower and continue that trend, I got to go pay for some locates, because one of the things that we'll talk about in the Academy does get talked about is your preparation. Like, your preparation is a big part of your process. It comes down to, like, what are you trading and why, but also something as simple as, hey, if I think this stock is short, well, then I don't want to wait till it's breaking underneath that level to go see if I need to pay for locates. I can go ahead and do that now, so that if it does set up at 10 o'clock, I can just hit the key and be locked and loaded and ready to go. So yeah, there's a bit of a flat bottom break coming in here in BMNR. That's going to be on watch for me here today. Unfortunately, because what can we say? Bitcoin, crypto, still looking weak. There's nothing about this chart that says we have remotely broken the downward trend. Like, a retest of the low seems like it's in play. Everything about it says, the 50s until proven otherwise. So BMNR is going to be on that radar. Potential flat bottom break, but I got to go pay for some locates on that bad boy.
All right, back over to the desk with Sharif and Brendan.
Right, it's up on screen right now. It's a big day for us on the Academy, obviously, but if you've been with us for any length of time, you understand that we are very proudly sponsored by Real Trading, which is right through the wall that way, essentially. We are in the building, and we have, I don't think Wayne's ever been on the show.
I don't think so.
He's
been in the background before.
He's been in the background,
Yeah.
probably floating around before when it was the trading floor in the background, but there's Wayne.
Hey.
Wayne is joining for the first time ever. What's up, Wayne? Good morning.
Hey guys, very, very happy to be here. It's been a long time coming. I think we've been talking about this for quite a bit of time now, but I'll get started, I guess.
Well, hold on. Okay, slow down. Let's get a little background first, Wayne, because if anyone's seeing you for the first time, again, Wayne's been here for a long, long time, even when, if anyone's watching the show, that before we did the renovation, the trading floor was in the background. I'm sure Wayne was flying around on the trading floor all day, every day. Give us a little bit of an introduction here, what you do, your role with Real Trading, how that comes into play.
Yeah, no, I love to share. So I'm Wayne. I'm a proprietary trader at one of the risk managers for Real Trading campus program. So you might ask, what is the campus program? Long story short, and I bet Neil and Sean has mentioned it before, is that it's just a remote training program to kind of help develop consistently profitable traders. It's definitely different than Academy. We kind of focus more on the nitty-gritty kind of trading, kind of order flow kind of stuff. And a fun fact, actually, I started sitting right beside Sharif. I was actually sitting to the right of Sharif, sitting behind Sean and Neil, learning a lot from Sharif himself, learning a lot from, Sean and Neil. And, it's been a great experience so far. I've been here for around probably 4 years now, I think. 4 years.
And getting ready for many, many, many more, obviously. Wayne, let's jump right into the market side of things. Give me just a quick overview of what you do specifically in the morning, because I know this is a really busy part of your day. What it is exactly you help the traders with specifically for Real Trading in the pre-market?
Yeah, so we go through a lot of kind of morning briefs. I spend around probably 30 to 40 minutes-ish. So today we're going to get a little bit more compact version of it, but basically examining, the probabilities of certain events happening, the risk factors, right? Certain things like Fed speakers. If there's, for example, for the gas traders, we have some traders that focus on oil. So I would definitely remind them, hey, there's EIA today on Wednesday, et cetera, et cetera. So kind of providing those factors, understanding that, you have to look at the market in a holistic point of view. You can't just be super tunnel vision on your own stock kind of thing.
When we look at what has been popular, what has been working, what has the traders been actually looking at on a day-to-day basis, just give us a broad overview of what's hot right now with Real Trading traders.
Oh, I think a lot of traders are trading things like SoFi right now. The pharma stocks are pretty hot, specifically Pfizer. So we've been focusing a lot on Pfizer, and obviously the oil stocks, like I previously mentioned. As we know, the commodity manufacturers has been going really, really hot right now. Stock like CVE, for example.
How important do you think it is for specifically new traders coming into a day to not only have a plan, but have 2 or 3 ideas lined up ready to go as you head towards the open on a daily basis?
No, I think it is the most important thing, and I think that's what you guys do in the morning is super important. I used to watch it, before I came on the floor, and even when I'm on the floor, I still watch you guys sometimes, because a lot of times when the market opens at 9:45, if you don't have a plan, you're basically just running around like a headless chicken, essentially, because you're kind of emotionally affected by the first trade you take or the second trade you take. So by the third trade, you're like, oh my God, what is going on? Oh, there's a buyer here, let me just buy, and then you get shut down. Right? That's definitely happened to me many times.
I mean, you're accurate from the standpoint of the urgency of it and how overwhelming it can be. Give us a quick run through here of what you're looking at today. What's everyone talking about?
Can I share my screen? Maybe that would be a little bit.
We might have to set that up for. Oh, you can. Okay, Andre's just telling me you can. Go for it.
Okay. So I think I was listening to Neil talking about this. I think the main focus is really kind of on the markets, but also on kind of Bitcoin itself. The main kind of thing that we're watching right now is continuously being VIX. We're trading above 20 and staying really stubborn above 20, which means that there's a lot of correlation happening in the markets right now. And which really just means, and I've been telling a lot of my traders this, is that, if the market is up, right, you just look for the strongest stock, look for in your basket the strongest stock to look for, to buy. And if the market is weak, just kind of sell into the weakest stocks. Because in this kind of market, you have very strong correlation. You have very strong correlation that occurs, that occurs across all markets, right? This is a CBOE kind of correlation. And as you can see, it has risen quite a bit in past times. So that's kind of the main thing we're focusing on, is just watching how the markets trade and then kind of applying it on your own stocks. And the main focus right now is on this SoFi. It's been breaking down below this 19 key level, which goes back to around, the breakout point. And we're watching kind of this specific prior year high into the breakout. So we're going to see if this level really holds or if it's going to really kind of, take these 18 level out, take the 1760 level out, and then, do a little bit of price discovery back into 17s. Or it holds, and then we kind of see a kind of dead cat bounce, so to speak. Stock has been doing, sorry, yeah.
I think just to wrap things up real quick, Wayne, I think one of the things that a lot of people might, be able to get some value from on a day in and day out basis is understanding the process a little bit. Is it a start wide, top down analysis of what's the overall market doing? What's the individual sectors doing? What are the individual names doing to come up with the ideas? Or maybe we can get into that, as we do more of these. But just real quick, just a real broad overview of the process each day.
Yeah. So basically, we definitely do a top-down point of view because, I've told my traders a lot about this, is that if the market is going to drop 2%, it doesn't really matter if your stock has a strong buyer there. Like, it's going to go down. So we kind of go from a top-down perspective, and then once we kind of drill it down, a lot of these traders, I encourage all of the traders to have a kind of short list of stocks that they focus on, primarily 1 or 2 kind of specific stocks, and kind of apply the overall thesis down to their individual stocks.
Fantastic. Great information. Wayne, we appreciate it. You did a great job. We look forward to more analysis and more insight coming from, he's right over on that side of the wall over there. So have a great day, Wayne. Good to see you.
Yeah.
That's Wayne, guys. No, everything that he says, you have to listen to, because he's actually the individual who hired me here and the first one that I met on the floor. And if we talk about, whoa. All right. If we talk about process, Wayner is definitely one of the individuals that you want to listen to and learn about it, because he's extremely, extremely detailed. And with that being said, money is in the detail. And when you start off your trading journey, you don't really know anything. And it's the individuals to the right of me, behind me, and across the hall that you really want to listen to, hence why you have the academy. It's really where you want to get your feet moving. And when you hit the ground, it's just like, well, trading is essentially a language, and how do I learn it? And it's from people around you. So Wayner, definitely, I learned a lot from that individual. And he also has the vest on as well, too. So I think that that's enough. That's telling enough. All right, guys, let's take a look at some of these analyst actions here this morning. We're going to kick things off with hims and hers on the downgrade side, guys. We're down substantially here this morning. We're going from a buy to a neutral weight by BTIG. And then Novo Nordisk continuing its slide to the southeast. We're down 2 3/4 approximately, going from an overweight to a neutral weight as well, too, by JP Morgan. And then we have a firm also getting the downgrade, a little bit less than 0.25% here, guys, but going from a buy to a neutral weight as well. And then Blue Owl Capital down 2% here, guys. Deutsche Bank giving that a price target of $10, but going from a buy to a hold. So that is the downgrades there. And then as for the upgrades, Domino's Pizza putting in some good numbers yesterday, guys. You're up a little bit less than 1% here. JP Morgan giving them the nod with the price target at $450, going from a neutral weight to an overweight as well. And then we have KeyCorp here, guys, getting the nod by Robert W. Baird. You're up 0.5% with a price target of $19, going from an underweight to a neutral weight. Qualcomm also getting the nod up 2 1/4, price target of $185 by Wells Fargo, going from an underweight to an equal weight. Dollar General DG there, guys, Oppenheimer, giving them the nod, relatively flat, price target of $170, guys.
Yeah, the haters are alive everywhere, and they're definitely hating on Novo and HIMS, and you saw some of that yesterday with Novo Nordisk. And a little follow through here today. They actually there was like a small piece of positive news, but it doesn't seem to matter. They're down another 3 points. I just saw someone in the chat asking if like a firm was a short till it's not. Like that term to me just boils down to, is A, it's in a downtrend, and then B, like it just did a continuation play on that trend. If it was sitting sideways, like you could have like a sideways consolidation like this in the downtrend, no. Instead, there's your downtrend and you're breaking lower. This is the same thing that brought us to SoFi. And I'm glad, Wayne was even mentioning this one. Because after yesterday, downtrend, finally holds something, breaks underneath 19, and then it turns into like this short till it's not. So, right now 18 could be a quick little breakdown. If it doesn't, just absolutely flush like yesterday. There's the flush price, which is back into lower highs. But again, when things are upward trending, it's always like, yeah, you come in and you're like, what do I like to buy the dip in? Like that's the mentality when we're sitting there in like this great bull market. You're just, okay, well, this is always going up, so we buy the dip here. This is the level I like. Well, when things are looking pretty weak and the opposite is happening, you got to look for the other direction oftentimes. And that can mean looking at a stock like a SoFi, looking at something like IBIT, looking at a Novo, which is in a distinct downtrend, and simply being default, I want the short entry. And some days, they're going to be bounce days. But if it's a definitive downtrend, then playing the short is the way to go. You're going to get some bottoms, don't get me wrong, but everyone wants to bottom pick. And certainly when you're long-term investing, you're always trying to bottom pick, right? But when you're trading, you don't have to actually be sitting there catching a falling knife. If the stock is trending down, you can short it as long as you've got the locates. And obviously here, real trading, we do on 99.9% of the market or something approximating that.
Yeah, I talked about that the other day when we were talking about J&J and Procter & Gamble and all that. It's very, very easy to say, oh my God, CrowdStrike's down 10%, I should buy it. While you should maybe be buying stocks that, have been actually working in this environment. And if they ever take a dip down, maybe these are the stocks that you should be buying, right? So that's why I look at that downgrade from Novo Nordisk and be like, okay, maybe it's not low enough yet, but if you were able to buy any sort of a stronger name on dips, I think that's where you definitely want to be looking moving forward, right? Is try to find the best stocks that have already rewarded shareholders for buying them. Like Procter & Gamble went up to 162 right there, fell back into 156 and now 164. You know, so it's like these are the stocks that you want to look for weakness and then buy them, right? It's stocks that have been having this kind of trend. Procter & Gamble still has a ways to go too. So this could be one of those names, which is why I keep on talking about it, right? This and J&J, I really like these two names as strength names in the space. And then anything in energy like XLE, I think has been fantastic as well. But this is one that has a little bit more of a runway to the upside where you can also appreciate a dividend on that, right? And unlike trying to always catch falling knives, like a Palantir falling knife or whatever else, you know, at some point, you know, you're going to say, wow, it's down another 5% today, you know, and then the very next day just continues down. It's not in the space right now where, you know, this is Palantir while it's going up, take advantage of down days, you know, up, take advantage of down days. But right now, there's been really no relief rallies. So you want to stay with the weak names short, strong names long, which is what Wayne was sort of mentioning there. No matter what the market's going to do, your stock will probably follow it to some extent. But if you're in the name, relative weakness, relative strength, that's really what you're looking for, and that's the key to this game, right? Is trading the right stocks. And I love what Wayne said right there. Basically, you know, disciple, because you have the sticky note. That's 4 names every single day. The 4 that I look at and the 4 that are pretty much most prominently traded by myself are going to be the ones on the note. So it's like, do your research, get prepared every single day. And I know a lot of you are not harassing, but mentioning that you want the sticky note out. So it's going to come out, man. I've been doing stuff with the Academy here today, listening to Joe, listening to Wayne, doing stuff like that. So the sticky note, patience, my friend, just like trading. It will be out very, very soon, and I appreciate all you waiting for it. We do have the morning note out, Sharif's morning note. We had yesterday 40 or so memberships being dropped. We got 10 more right here, right now. This is going to get you Sharif's morning note, which I have up for you right now. Yeah, shout out to Steve Irwin again right here. And this is the morning note coming through right now again today. Thank you, Sharif. How many pages? Come on, Sharif, just 15? But you're talking about Tesla over here, Amazon, Nvidia, everything you want to talk about. Here's a AMD Meta AI deal talked about here, trader takeaways, key levels, what exactly this story is all about here, the pre-market movers. Here's Bitcoin anyways. We can go on, and we will do this. We're going to have a market rundown, but make sure you do grab one of those memberships. It's just $5 a month, but we do want to thank everybody for dropping the memberships in there. And if you're signing up, that's fantastic as well. So thank you so much for that. $5 a month gets you the Sharif morning note, gets you little fun emojis. So you could do like a Neil emoji if you want, and put them all in here, right? So we want to say thank you to everybody there as well. I don't know if it's going to get to 55K today because the market's up. Now we think, I hate that Bitcoin's down today, wishing obviously that it was higher. But for right now, yeah, crypto seems to be holding out okay. 63 is pretty good right there, but it has broken down below. We'll talk about Bitcoin coming up very, very soon. And yeah, thankfully the market is rebounding. And I've actually switched it over, man. I got a lot of longs on here today. Not a lot, but I got a few longs. So we'll talk about that. I'm getting that written out right now. Let's go back over the desk. It's 8:52 today. Trader TV Academy. Get the link in the description.
70% retracement, then we're looking at 38,000. Yeah, well, every other major retracement has been 70%. You and I were looking.
Stop scaring people, Sharif.
I'm just saying, man, facts are facts.
Not going to move BAC at all, but I was just reading a note from BAC on OpenAI's revised targets here. $283 billion in revenue and $665 billion in compute spending by 2030. The move could create $45 to $75 billion in additional revenue. This is the market in general, challenging giants like Google, Meta, Amazon, etc. OpenAI's partner-led compute strategy opens opportunities to hyperscalers to supply AI infrastructure further. Again, not going to move BAC, just a note from BAC on OpenAI's monstrous spending, $665 billion by 2030.
It's all great. It's fantastic, and everyone that's in the industry continues to praise Altman for being the leader and to say OpenAI is a transformational company. It's all well and good, but a lot of those opinions are biased opinions. They are from companies that are looking to sell OpenAI products. So I got to tell you, I'm more concerned about OpenAI, especially with the rise of Claude. And here's a little anecdote. They always say, flattery, or sorry, copying or mimicry is
imitation
is the best form of flattery, right? Well, what do we see with DeepSeek? We saw initially when DeepSeek trained 2.0, who did they distill? Distilling is basically stealing information. They distill chat. They didn't do that this time. So new reports coming out that they actually used hundreds of thousands of accounts to basically ping or get requests from Claude. So, you know, it feels like maybe the winds of change have come for leadership, at least for now. So we'll see.
But they're not using Nvidia products, though.
No, they don't have Blackwell in a hidden data center in Mongolia.
It's not a thing. It's not a thing.
That's just a rumor.
Yeah, just rumors. Meanwhile, the one of the Mag 7, anyways, with the smallest price tag on their spend, not a bad couple of days here for Apple on the way back up.
Not bad at all. And they're shifting production, Brendo, I think, for one of their Macs from Houston. I think they're putting it out in Asia. There's a story about that. It's not on my morning note. It's here it is. So it's from Houston to Asia. I don't think this is a major market moving story. The real concern for me is going to be next week when Apple has their 3-day presentation. But the headline today is they're shifting Mac Mini production from Houston to Asia. I know we got one of those back there. Where in Asia, I'm not exactly sure, Brendo. I'll have to keep my eye out on that. I didn't read the article yet.
I was talking to a couple of guys in the back on the programming side the other day, and they were showing me they actually have a few. I don't even know how many because they wouldn't tell me, but they have a few studios now.
Those are like
the
how
big
many
dogs.
thousands?
I don't know. I have no idea, but they're using them for well, partially for actually this project, the Academy project. So, I mean, but even Mac Minis, like you and I were having that conversation yesterday. You can't get your hands on these things at this point. It doesn't matter, you know, what store you go to. Like, there's one of those resellers on College in my neighborhood. Yeah, they don't have any. Really? Even there was one that was like a M1, I think, from 3 or 4 years ago, but you just can't get them.
I went to I was at Yorkdale, I told you, on the weekend. I was with my parents, and we got my mom a MacBook Air. An iPad Air, pardon me. And we wanted the 13-inch because that was a larger screen. It's kind of like the 12.9, like the Pro. Sold out in every configuration, all the colors, all the different sizes. And you got to take a step down. You got to go for the 11-inch. And they also had constrained supply there, which kind of took me by surprise because when you look at Apple's iPad revenue, it hasn't been great over the past few years. But it seems like maybe that there is a bit of a shift now.
This event coming up next week, one of the things is going to be a new iPad. Yeah. Maybe there was some taps turned off ahead of the launch of this, or maybe the manufacturing shifted focus to the newer model. What day is that? Wednesday next week?
It's 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Okay,
I think.
so
I'll double check that though.
All right, so yeah, lots of new products, guys. Should be a pretty good week for Apple.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good week so far for Apple. It was I'd say a pretty good week last week for Apple, and you could say it's been a pretty decent week or pretty decent start to the year, at least relative to some of the other people that are getting other names in the mag that are getting hit a little bit harder. Why? Because at the end of the day, if software is going to be hurt and everyone's going to be a little bit tepid about all of the spending and all the capex, then Apple gets you a little bit of insulation for that. And look, you're above the 50. What held up really nicely in Apple yesterday was, you know how we talked about just stocks finding a bit of a temporary bottom in those downtrends? Like usually when you make a bottom, or maybe it could be after earnings, this isn't after earnings, but it's just the example I want to use. You get your little down push, you get a little bit of continuation after, then you push higher. And it's like, can you hold the lower high, right? Like that place where the buying wanted to come back in, can it hold that support? That's what Apple was able to pull off on Friday. Bounced right off that higher low. Now you busted through some resistance. And what happened? What happens in an uptrend? Resistance turns into support. What happened yesterday? Resistance turned into support for Apple at that 266. Now you need some confirmation that we'll get this continuation. You lose 66. I guess there's room to 59.60, obviously. But you know, Apple, a bit of a different beast when it comes to currently for the Mag 7. Like this event next week, I think we're a little bit more excited to get like the big Siri update later in the year. That's not going to be this round. That'll probably be later in the year. But the anticipation is that it's going to be huge, and what you can do is going to be amazing. That shouldn't be next week. But it doesn't. At this point, it doesn't matter because there's just a little bit of installation under Apple because demand has been going so well. And then don't sleep on. Look, I just saw in the chat, we keep talking about like bad tech names, and Apple would be a good example of a good one. I saw in the chat people mentioning how good like a Taiwan Semi has been doing. You know, like if you look a little bit further around and start to think about some names out there which are benefiting from all of this spend. Like a TSM's making some fresh highs here today. I'll knock on wood because it's like it just has to make like one little push and to make some fresh highs. It's not actually there yet, but you're up 3% and you're pressing into it. So yeah, there's a lot of strength out there. It's not just relative names like an Apple, which for obvious reasons has been caught up in this spending. There's names like TSM, which are doing really well. And I'm glad that that's getting pointed out in our chat. That's why it's such a great community that we have, so that names like this don't get missed. So you get exposed to different ideas. That's, again, what the Academy is all about. And I see the link is up there, pinned, not just in the description, but also pinned in the chat. So all of you guys in the chat, you can actually just click the link right then and there. So Apple's a good one. I'm glad people mentioned TSM is doing pretty well. But yeah, I don't think the event next week's going to be a huge deal. That's just me personally. I think everyone is really, really excited for that series. I think it probably in the summer is what people are hearing. But either way, it's this year.
Yeah, Meta, just another Mag 7 name here, gets that deal with AMD, or secures gigawatt power there. And you can see it did have a move down, trying to retrace now back to the upside. Nice to see the Nasdaq trying to go as well, right? So hopefully Meta can catch a little bit of a bid here today, and we'll see where it can go. But yeah, there's home price index just came out, but nothing's really going on right now. All right, it's 9 o'clock. Let's go through. We've got the watch list ready to go. You can grab the watch list, link in description as well for that one. Completely free, delivered right to your inbox daily. Had a little bit of a problem with it yesterday. It looks like it came out perfect today. So shout out to Adara. Thank you for working on that watch list. We got Sharif's morning note. We've got Adara with the watch list. You've got Joe with his options, his upgrades and downgrades. Sticky note. Neil's got his note. We're ready to rock and roll. Back over to the desk.
Before we do, just reminding everybody that Trader TV Academy is live. The work has been done to get that platform ready, and it's your turn to step inside. You don't have to wait and just watch us trade, but you can learn about the foundation that we've all built our trading careers on. The link is pinned in the chat, so you can visit tradertv.academy right now and get started. Jump in, the water is warm, make some posts. And get engaged in our community. That's what it's all about. And one of the things we talk about is that preparation, which sometimes starts with looking at the futures and what's on our free watch list and the rundown, which we're going to start into.
682.5, guys. That's where we closed out yesterday on the SPY. We're a little bit above that right now. We're 683 1/3. So we're going to use yesterday's closing print. That's our first level of support. We start selling off. We're looking at a bounce there. If we really get going here, 685 is going to be our first level of resistance. But as you can see, we've been topping out here in the high 80s, low 90s. So we'll say that's going to be resistance level number 2, Brendo.
All right, let's jump right into it. We got a lot to get through here this morning. AMD, top of mind for a lot of people here to kick things off. If you missed it this morning, shares are up more than 11%. Meta announcing a multi-year deal with the semiconductor company to build out their data center. Lisa Su saying this is going to be worth, quote unquote, billions to AMD.
And it's really interesting how they structured this. You and I were just talking about this off camera. I'm going to mention quickly the actual technical side here. So it's going to be the AMD Instinct MI450 GPU, but it's also going to be paired with their new CPU. It's called EPYC, codenamed Venice. Okay, that's the technical side. Let's get to the real stuff though, because what AMD did here was issue warrants, about 160 million shares possibly here, with a notional value of 1 penny. What does that mean? That means if they meet certain build-out criteria, 1 gigawatt, you get X amount of shares. 2 gigawatt build-out, you get X. Basically, Meta gets to own a stake in the company up to 10%. This is a very aggressive move from Lisa Su, but it also ties in Meta. It dissuades Meta from going and buying Nvidia chips because they know if they buy AMD chips, there's going to be an accretion of value on that revenue number. What happens with that, Brent?
Yeah,
price share goes up.
And the best part is this is a week after we were sitting here talking about a deal with Meta and Nvidia last week. So they're doing a lot of shopping. Is Zuck and crew over there, guys? What do we do with this thing today?
Well, I mean, with Meta, I don't think you do much of anything with Meta, unfortunately. Nothing about its profile changed much here. Before we move on, I just want to acknowledge, because in the chat here, a lot of people are seeing this move down in silver and probably gold as well. So the metals, with a little bit of a bounce happening, it's not a huge bounce in the futures. in the Nasdaq futures, but we are seeing in the opposite direction here. Silver has now given up the entirety of yesterday's move down at about 78. So it could be filling this gap in to like that Friday high, like 76, 76 half, 77. That could be like a theoretical support, like resistance turning into support, super strong into the afternoon, and giving up that 80 is SLV. Yeah, there's no headline or anything. I think it's just sort of catching some weakness as the market's bouncing a little bit. But AMD, we know this is a name. You know this is a name that's going to move. Like, first of all, it's always going to move more recently than Nvidia. But it just seems like a couple of things have obviously happened here. Like this 200 level, it just seems to be pretty undefeated, at least for now. But if on this headline, if this headline, you can't hold the 50 period, you already can't hold the 50 period moving average, we're underneath the 220 level. To me, like a breakout, like it's pretty obvious. If it's breaking out, 220 was prior resistance, 219-ish, 220 is that 50 period SMA on the daily. If you're not out and about above that, you're not really breaking out in this move. And if this story can't cause this to break back here and get into the highs, then yuck. If this gets us a lower high, and then imagine a world where Nvidia doesn't do the right thing for us tomorrow, which is help the market, then a real test underneath that 200 could be in play. That's the longer term look on AMD. For myself, again, that 220 is going to be the key. Like that's the over under level. Like I just draw it like this and go back into this gap. Like if we cannot get above that, this is a fade to me that does leave open the opportunity on the 15-minute. If it can hold above, that's a breakaway trade. All of this price action has been in the pre-market. So in theory, it's still a potential breakout above that 220. For now, not looking very good. There's a positive, we're not probably going to get to Intel. There's actually a positive story on Intel, believe it or not. You can find it in our watch list. It has a chance to break away from the 45. A little bit of a rounded bottom here on Intel. So there's your rounded bottom, potential break through the 45 level, but it's completely unrelated to
Look, I mean, it sucks because I was, like I said, too busy today, but there's silver short, 79 bucks. Was hoping that it would break down, and that's exactly what we wrote down right there. This is when it was at 80 in the morning, and it broke through 79, and there it was, man. I said, look to VWAP now. So we'll see if it can play back to that, but I really do like it. And the number one trade today, hopefully, will be AMD, and it's a 219 to 220 short. I mean, I just, sure, this is a nice little story for here's silver, by the way, like absolutely just like all I was doing was looking at this 79 and was thinking to myself, like, this little break right into there could do something. And yeah, it sure is. 79 was pretty bouncing there. But anyways, we'll see if we can get back up. We'll look to short silver. If there's a pop, and there probably will be a pop, so nothing to complain about here with silver for right now. Yeah, AMD, look, anything up near this 220, I'm going to short it. I mean, VWAP is right here at 218. You're well above any sort of key support levels because this is a nice gap higher. And just like AMD and Nvidia, we said, like, once Nvidia gets to that 194, 195, it's been faded back into like 180. And the same thing with this name, right? 260, back down into 200, back up to 260, back down into 200, back up again. So is the next stop 260? Let's wait to see. But we got to break above that 220 before that's going to happen. So for me, I'm short AMD anywhere around 220. I'll be in it. I'll be using shares. So, let's see if we can actually make some money today with AMD. AMD was one of the top names. Or no, was it Nvidia yesterday? Either way, really love trading this name. It's on the note. We're going to go for it. It's AMD right now. It's silver for the short. It's TQs for the long, and it's Tesla for the long on a break of 400 bucks as well. So that's what we're talking about right now, and we're getting excited. There's right now it's 9:07. First story done. It's AMD plus Meta. Nvidia's coming tomorrow. I think it's going to be a good report, and I think the market will react to that today and go for a little bit of a long run here today. So let's go talk about Nvidia. We'll talk about some key levels. I like the long.
Yeah, not loving this AMD Meta tie-up, however, is Nvidia this morning. Downside on that note, as it probably should be, back to 190 anyways, just going into yesterday's low. I mean, there's a couple of things to understand today for Nvidia ahead of this report coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, today I'm going to take a bit of a different angle. Tomorrow we'll cover what the expectations are. But you and I know there's two schools of thought in the U.S. government right now. There are China hawks, and then there are those who said, let's keep everyone addicted to China or to American technology, right? And this is what this story is about. Because all of a sudden, guys, Blackwell chips have shown up in China. In fact, DeepSeek's latest version is speculated to have been trained on the most advanced NVIDIA chip, that is, of course, Blackwell. The U.S. intelligence believes there's a data center, Brendo, in Inner Mongolia that's housing these Blackwell chips, and officials are suggesting DeepSeek could actually remove technical indications in their LLM that their LLM was actually trained by American chips, so to keep it completely, hidden. Now, why is this important for NVIDIA? Well, because there's, as I mentioned at the top, the China hawks who want no sale of NVIDIA chips to go to China. And then you have President Trump and AR czar David Sachs who say, no, we need to keep the world addicted or using American technology. So two schools of thought, a bit of a dichotomy there. This could shift the political balance or the balance of power in favor of the hawks. Also, as I mentioned at the top, distillation, again, being accused of not being able to actually train their own LLMs organically, but having to actually distill the information from American AI companies.
DeepSeek, that is.
DeepSeek, yes.
Not NVIDIA. NVIDIA, though, downside again to start things off here today ahead of tomorrow.
Yeah, there's a world in which you could make some kind of an argument that if part of the reason why Nvidia was down this morning was AMD being up, that they could go a little bit counter trend. The only question I have, I just still don't think that like if AMD continues to fall and Nvidia keeps on rising, I don't know if we break this 194 out before those earnings. And we've been talking about this for a while because this is the story right now in Nvidia stock. It bears repeating. You cannot look at this daily chart, you cannot watch the price action and not see what is happening above $190. You can't do much with it. It's gone to 194 effectively multiple times, and it's just been sell, 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 sell. Now, obviously, a breakout at 194 is going to be a very popular trade. I think waiting for it has made sense, but realistically, shorting in front of 194 has just been better. That's seemingly just how it is right now going into the earnings, and I don't see what necessarily changes today for that. Ooh, we got Danny Boy. Danny Boy in the chat's got a super chat for us. Danny Boy regular pants. Because the old name, I like the old name as well too, Sir Poopy Pants. Good morning. Could we look at FN? Your anti-greed policy tells you to trim it, but it just keeps on trucking to the north every single day. You know, I already know on Fabernet, Sharif would tell you to wet the beak. And one of the things that, or you could say it's like scratch the itch is another way to think about it. Now, often, but you always have to think about, like, I don't know where you're in it. I don't know what your price is. Like, you could be in this thing at $150. You could be in it at like $420 in a recent buy. You could have just recently taken a breakout. Who knows? But when you are out and about and into like rarefied air or blue sky setup, as some people like to call it, I think it's informative to just sort of understand that it's easier, the concept that it's easier to hold for a longer position if you have trimmed some and put some in your pocket. That's just part of human nature. So certainly ringing the register on some, it always makes a little bit of sense if it just allows you to mentally hold it longer. Because when you're in the midst of a breakout, like the job is to hold. That's kind of what you want to do. Like if we just do, like it's there's a prior 420 to 530 range, let's just say, like this little consolidation, that's 110. So you actually, in theory, like you have a little bit more to go if you just do the prior move. Would give you a little bit more to go. So yeah, like it's obviously been pretty strong. There's nothing wrong with taking some out so you can pay yourself and then be able to hold a little bit more. But good one you got there, Danny Boy. And hey, let's talk about some Home Depot, which is not breaking out, unfortunately, yet.
Yeah, not yet. We're close. Again, this is kind of disappointing volume on this thing this morning, despite a decent report. Some of the numbers a little bit questionable. Forecast kind of in line with expectations. The spending just doesn't seem to be there.
No, they're complaining again about the housing market, like we were talking about at the top of the show. Let's cover the report, guys. Fiscal Q4 revenue beats expectations, 38.2 billion. The street was looking for 38.12, so an easy beat there. Bottom line beat, adjusted EPS 272 versus the 254 expected. Revenue, though, did decline 4% year over year, partly due to one fewer fiscal week than we had last year. Net income also fell from $3 billion to $2.57 billion. So even though they're profitable, the year-over-year comps and not so good. The CFO, Richard McPhail, described the U.S. as being in, quote, a frozen housing environment for 3 years. Now more, he's blaming higher rates, lower housing turnover, and affordability concerns, Brendo, about why, they're not meeting some sales expectations. As you mentioned at the top of the show, though, comparable sales did improve marginally year over year. Transaction volumes, though, did fall. And per, what do they call this, basket? When you have like the basket of items, that lower number as well. So people are buying a little bit less. One last thing, the do-it-yourselfer, still not there. They're really focusing more on the professional builders, the contractors, really trying to target them.
It'll be interesting, I think, going into the summer months, really, to see how that plays out and if we get, some of those backyard handyman back. Home Depot, though, I guess, $395 really would be the top, guys, but kind of disappointing as far as volume here today.
Yeah, it's not for good. It's not a big volume name. I don't think this is a heavily day traded stock, so I don't know if people are gonna be clamoring to a $395 breakout. I think that's a little bit better for maybe like a swing trader who might just be perfectly happy with the fact that you're holding the major moving averages in a couple of days. Like if we don't break under, you give it the old cooling off period, 3-day rule, whatever you want to call it. You give it that, and it just simply holds these levels, and it looks a little bit productive. But it's a completely mixed report in here. Like you've got a little bit of good, a little bit of bad. That revenue, the revenue declines year over year, not necessarily the best thing in the world. You got the big ticket items, which is slightly creeping up a little bit higher. So and then when you start thinking about, the ticket's increasing, then people are spending more. Well, how much of that is inflation anyway? So like really when you adjust, is it really that big of a deal? So it's very, very mixed here. I would tend to stay away from this, but along the lines of, hey, if this is a name that you like, it's putting in, here, let's go to a higher time frame. The daily chart just doesn't always do you the justice that you want. If you throw the weekly chart up, like you can see, it's a pretty good, it's a boring range, but it's a good one. You got a channel that broke out, and now we're holding that channel with that 330 bottom. There's your 395 that needs to break out on Home Depot. I can see that at some point I actually liked it enough to put some lines on this chart. I think I said this the last time too. No, but as long as you hold on to that, like this local support, 370, you hold that for the next couple of days, then you can have a little bit of a breakaway trade into the high would be the play. But when you really do zoom out, it's the buyers that have played the range bottom that have done so much better. Like if it's a boring stock stuck in a range, there is nothing wrong with just waiting until you get that absolute low. So this is a hands-off one for me. Maybe it looks better come Thursday or Friday after it's had a chance to settle down, but I'll stay away.
Yeah, look, I like Home Depot. We talked about, buying names that are potentially trying to make a move in the right direction. And right here, Home Depot has, it's still silver, Home Depot, enter. Here it is right here. So, and Home Depot has made that move. So now Home Depot is trying to hold the 200, hold the 50-period moving average, trying to break higher here. There wasn't too much to be concerned about in the report. Obviously, a little bit of a lower guide on the low range of it. Kind of hard to predict, right? I mean, there's a lot of people that are predicting potentially, I don't want to use the R word, but I'm trying to think of another one. Recovery? No, but maybe there's going to be a recovery in the Home Depot space. But no, yeah, if people are a little bit gun shy about spending some cash there, as jobs potentially worried, again with this AI trade, maybe Home Depot isn't in the right space. But You know, Sharif mentioned mortgage rates getting near lows again, under that 6% mark, so that's nice. They were up near 6.8% just a couple months ago, back, I guess, midway through last year. So it's nice to see mortgage rates coming back in, and as people buy new homes, you know, generally speaking, you'd like them to stay in their homes and renovate, but the thing about buying a new home too is once you get in there, you also renovate that. You know, you want to put your own little touch on it. So I would say that Home Depot is a great stock. Instead of one, you know, catching dips like we always try to do, like we said, well, Tesla's down to 400, maybe I should buy it. How about this name, man? It's still working out pretty good. Good dividend, you know, strong American company. So, you know, if you're in that realm, I think Home Depot's a buy. So, you know, if the earnings aren't taking it down, what will? You know, the rest of the market, I mean, if that happens, then, you know, there's nowhere to hide. So I like Home Depot in the retail space. If you're a little light in retail or the home builders or that sector in general, I would go for Home Depot right now, especially if the US dollar can flatline. I think Home Depot can win importing, exporting business there as well, and potentially another benefit of tariffs coming back.
Well, we got another one. I know we're going to go up and we'll talk about, Tesla slumping, but we've got VWAP. Okay, well, yeah, what I can say that. VWAP that ass. Don't forget about the unveiling of the new Samsung Galaxy devices tomorrow morning. Boo crapple. Oh, we're hating on Apple now. Yo, so here's my thing. I've never even been an Apple user. I am a firm believer in I'm going to buy Apple stock and I'm going to hold Apple stock. Even if it's not for me, my entire family uses Apple. Well, sorry, my father, my mother, my brother, my family, like my wife, myself, like we're Android devices. But no, I mean, to each their own, right? Samsung devices are fantastic. My wife has one out there, but yeah, I don't know what you can call it crapple. At the end of the day, ball doesn't lie. There's enough that everybody can win, for sure, but yeah, I mean, Apple is selling more devices, and they've got the big announcement coming up a little bit later this year. A name that is not looking very good. Again, why? Because it's under 400 bucks. That's Tesla.
Yeah, more disappointing sales numbers coming out of Europe for Tesla. I mean, this thing was down huge yesterday. One of the weakest, in fact. I mean, we sliced through 400 bucks again like it was butter, and I mean, it's kind of there or thereabouts right now, but I don't know what it's going to take to get this thing back, you know, into some decent levels even.
Honestly, and when you look at the number of cars they sold relative to the amount of people, what do they have? Like 450 million people in Europe, something like that, right? Sold 8,000 cars, guys. That was for the month of January, of course, but that is down 17% year over year, and that is the 13th consecutive month for Tesla. Declining sales in Europe, market share across the EU, the United Kingdom, Switzerland, Norway, Iceland dropped to 0.8% from 1%. So they weren't good to begin with, and somebody's eating their lunch, and that company is named BYD, who posted 165% year-over-year surge in registrations in Europe, up to 18,242 vehicles. Regional market share more than doubled, guys, from 0.7% now up to 1.9. I'm talking about BYD. Tesla's facing criticism, let's be honest about it, for lacking any new mass market models while really focusing heavily on autonomous driving initiatives. Europe is seeing increased availability of affordable EVs, Brendo, and that is certainly having pressure, or certainly causing pressure on Tesla sales. But let's be honest about it, there's also the political angle as well.
I mean, we're right back to this dip from December, essentially. I mean, maybe give it a day or two, 390, 385, something like that. But otherwise, we got to hold somewhere, guys. It seems Tesla in trouble here.
Well, we do. I mean, yeah, you do have to hold somewhere. It doesn't necessarily have to be here. I don't know. Like, this is a stock. And we talk about this when it comes to indicators. Well, you use an indicator, you like an indicator on a stock or a given strategy because it's worked in the past. Well, nothing much about the 200-period moving average on Tesla's actually been recently working out in the past. So I don't know if it's going to now. Like, if you lose 380, it's a significant price level. I think that's where we're at least headed temporarily. It's a potential bounce, no doubt about it. But you've got, we're only one day underneath the 400 level. Right, so you don't want to completely write off. Like it's not really a flat bottom break because it's like a one touch, but we rejected it because we closed right at 400 and we're rejecting it today. If you hold under 400, I think you're headed to the 380, but I'm not automatic that this is a 200-period buy. Like last year, I liked it at 220. This year, you actually have to pull out to the monthly chart on Tesla if we were to lose this bid, because I do think Tesla's a dip buy. because they play on a multitude of themes which are working regardless of what you think about AI crushing productivity. They're the ones that are going to be disrupting when it comes to automation. They're the ones that are going to be trying to put the robot in everyone's house. And if you think that they're behind with Optimus compared to China, fair enough. But who has the best stack? That's what Jensen said, that it was Tesla. And ultimately, the robots are going to be as good as the brains that they have on them, and of course the ability to manufacture them at cheap cost. And well, who's proven to be able to do things like that in the past? It's Elon. So I think closer down to this year, somewhere in the 280 to 325 range, I think is going to be a fantastic smash buy if things get out of hand. But I do think we're headed to this 380 at least temporarily on Tesla. For me, that's not where the dip buy is going to be. I think when there's a lot of pain in Tesla, that's a time you really want to scoop it, and we're not even at that point yet.
Yeah, I have it written down here on Tesla as one of the 4 stocks we'll look at. I have a 400 long, right? I mean, if it breaks through that key level, we're going to keep it on watch. Like, I'm a little bullish today. I know I'm going short on AMD, short on silver. Short on silver is bullish in the Nasdaq. So TQQs, we're going to try to get the long. We're going to try to go 400 long on Tesla. I already have that order in, so when it breaks it, we'll take it. We're only going to give it $2, right? I was going to give it to basically the 200 period, which is 398. So we got to break above first and then hit. Obviously, look at where this market's going. Like, this market's coming back down as we hear in our ear that Trump has no plans on changing that 15% new tariff. So, you know, that's going to be a little bit of a problem, I guess, for the market if he kind of sticks to that. I mean, despite collecting money that Congress or that the Supreme Court says he's not allowed to, that should be a real good battle, I guess, back and forth. But anyways, I like a $400 break. We saw yesterday how it sort of just sliced right through 400 right here and just kept on. I mean, I don't know if I can zoom in a little bit here. I think we had so many bad wicks right now, or not dark pool wicks anyways, but there's 400 right there yesterday. So like, it came to see it, and then it just, after that, almost, this is a 1 minute chart. So you have like you have about 10 minutes straight down into 397. So if the market's screaming, I think we could do something similar on a break higher. So that's why we're going to try to give it about $2 worth of space, because that'll come back into the 200 into VWAP. And, you know, if it's a false break, we lose $2 on it. I mean, it would be bad because, you know, we're going to be trading it with size. But at the end of the day, I think it's worth taking that shot here. I don't like the fact that it's down against what was a strong market. Now, I mean, we might have to change up our whole opinion right now and go short. I mean, again, when we write these notes down, it's too bad that we missed silver. I mean, silver we should have taken in the pre-market. There was enough volume there for that 79 break. But, you know, we're writing the sticky note when the market is, you know, kind of, I mean, I guess it was probably around here. We had a nice move higher, and now you've almost gotten like 30 minutes of straight downside pressure right now in the Nasdaq. But I'm still going to be here for this Tesla break of 400. I like it, and I think it's worth taking a little bit of a shot. Let's see if there's anything here on the Nasdaq that's hitting. Nasdaq Imbalances coming out. It's 925, so they're out now. And I don't see anything. I see silver with a little bit of a buy, so that's coming up to 79 again. So we'll see if we're able to short something around there. Intel with a sell, BAC with a sell. Off some of that bank movement yesterday. We could see a continuation. Here's iBit. Nice to see that at 63,000. So hopefully that'll hold out for a little bit of a bid as well. We're going to go over right now to crypto. Get the story back to us for trade. 4 minutes to Bell.
Anything significant? I mean, this continued macro talk, really not good for interest rates specifically. A little bit higher today on the long end of the curve, the dollar as well. But crypto's still suffering. I mean, this is just IBIT, but 2 days in a row here. Decent-sized gap just wasn't even attempted to be filled yesterday. Here we are again.
I know the chart pattern looks really ugly, and as you and I were looking at earlier, guys, if we look at the historical pullbacks from all-time highs, it's around 70 to 80%. If you were to take that 70% marker from the 126 we got into, we're looking at around mid-30s. So there could be more blood. It's below $62,000 right now. According to the article that I summarized this morning, the decline is being framed as a macro-driven risk reset. I don't agree with that. Analysts are characterizing the move as a tactical de-risking, and they're saying it's not a crypto-specific collapse. I also disagree with that. President Trump signaled a potential decision within 10 days on, you know, whether possible military action in Iran would go through, and markets are interpreting this as a tightening of financial conditions. Again, trying to, you know, correlate it with the global risk situation, which I don't agree with. I feel this is a very crypto-centric sell-off. I don't agree with the whole risk asset de-risking thing. We would see other other names making a move down, and we're not really seeing that.
No. We're not there yet currently, wherever there ends up being for Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's worth noting as well, guys.
When institutional money goes into ETFs to a certain degree, when you start to have a rollover in risk assets, you start to see some selling across the board as people take some money out of in other places. They don't have to be related. So to the extent that that's happening, the chart's telling you that it must be. So look, it's still a short till it's not. I really don't have anything else to change for them. If it breaks into, it's 36.8 and 36.2, the prior low that I like on IBIT, because that's what I will trade. But quickly, I also want to acknowledge, we don't really talk about the financials, but the XLF yesterday had a bad day. $51 was a big support level. That got broken. We're about 1% down from that 51 on the XLF. It's a simple over-under. If we can break back above, there's a big gap to be filled, but as long as we're holding underneath on this 15-minute chart and the 51 level, I'm looking at XLF short as well. This is a reversible one. Actually, I know I left yesterday saying, hey man, if we could hold this here and break back above, I like the long. Well, we didn't. We're back. We're still underneath 51 bucks. But I do like that break if we can get there. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to happen at the open.
Yeah, I should have wrote down some IBIT. Yeah, by the way, like every idea that we have is working out perfectly, but we're not in them. Right now, AMD's tanking right now. And I can say tanking, like it was up 15%, it's now up 7%, 8%. So nice move coming back in, looking like it wants to take out the 200 period. We'll have to watch out shorting any sort of strength in that one. And then Tesla just breaks 400 right now. Like we were just talking about, like I was literally talking about, and it was down here at 398. All right, and then boom, goes the dynamite up to 400. So it tries to break it, comes right back in. So we'll still take it. I don't know. I don't really like taking these things like right off the jump, but it looks like we may wind up doing that anyways right there. Well, I don't know. Damn it, I don't like taking things right away, but we'll try it. Maybe we won't give it as much room if it fails. Maybe just back down into like 398.50 or so. All right, 10 seconds to go. Right now, here goes Tesla. Looks like it's going to be the one. Silver, AMD, Tesla, Qs on watch. Thank you so much to everybody on TV, Trader TV Academy Day. Right now, looks like we'll be into Tesla first. Watching out for AMD. Here goes Tesla. It's going to break right now. And there it goes. And we don't have it. We missed the print. It breaks up 40 cents. I'm going to cancel that. There it goes, breaking through 400. I only crossed up 25 cents. Missed the bid right there. Now let's let it see if it fails back in. And we can maybe catch a long right now. But there goes Tesla. AMD, the easiest trade of them all, man. The short. Just keeps on printing to the downside. Wow, there goes Tesla. Just a little too early on that one, man, right there. It's too bad it didn't break like now when the spread is a little bit better there for Tesla. But we missed that one there. Neil in EHAB.
Yeah, that's just a deal. That happened yesterday.
And I think that's important to talk. Like most of your trading is in deal trading, right?
I trade them all day. Also, by the way, Warner Brothers, we forgot to mention this.
Yeah, okay.
Warner Brothers actually had the bid increase. I didn't see officially from Paramount Skydance, but they are increasing their bid. It is to be $32 on WBD. So that actually is legitimately a mover here today. It got all the way up to 29.5 bucks, but because I didn't see anything firm, in terms of like, it just said speculation that it could be 32. They have a couple of days left on that deadline, but it's trading a little bit lower. If we get anything firm with that, it could be a bit of a runner potentially. SoFi, okay, let me just quickly get back to SoFi.
Guys, I mean, AMD is tanking.
Oh, yeah, absolutely tanking.
Like, it's down to 207 right now, so there goes AMD just breaking through, absolutely crushed right there. I mean, the short would have been right off the open. I assume Meta's probably doing fine here. No, Meta the other way, same way as well, downside. Look at the market, absolutely crushed right now. So we're going to try to be as patient as we can, as we wrote down 48 bucks right there for the Qs. So here it comes in right now. Of course, these are the T triple Qs, T triple levered right now, downside. All right, so there goes Tesla. Can't fight the market too much. I just almost typed in Tesla. TSLA right there. Can't fight the market too much. Back down through now, 399 Tesla. So would have been a good trade. I'm glad we didn't get it early because we weren't crossed up enough on that spread, but it's coming right back in. Tesla right now, yeah, not doing well. Then you mentioned XLV obviously having some issues.
Well, another move down here. Unfortunately, the financials are another leg to the downside. Heavy candle. This is what it did yesterday. I don't know if there's going to be a pop. Like, there was no pop off. Well, there was a pop at the open, but that was the only pop that you had. So the first move might be the only one to be able to take. Bitcoin, and if it comes back to VWAP, if we don't break into 51, then VWAP is the next place to look for a short. Bitcoin or IBIT. Some people say don't call it Bitcoin because it's IBIT. Nothing at the open. Just kind of flash in both directions. So just gonna have to be patient with IBIT. Still nothing happening there. Nvidia also just lost a bit in a huge way.
Okay, we have Tesla right now, and we're long at $3.90 club right there. We just got $3.99, so let's wait to see what winds up happening right here with Tesla. I mean, oh man, what a stressful morning there. Tesla just ripped up and then came right back in. And again, we don't want to be sitting here holding Tesla if this market's gonna crack, and it just is cracking right now. So take a piece out there on the high side. Be happy with that so far. See if we can get out maybe another piece. Okay, I'll take another piece out. Yeah, that's good. Let's go, man. Props it up. There's Tesla. We said focus on stock. Shout out to my guy, Wayne. Fix out the names that you want to take. And there it goes, man. Now $1 and change up there for Tesla. We're doing it again, man. Here comes 5 bills, or 4 bills. Let's see if we can get that on Tesla right there. $1.30, $1.40 in the money right there. So all that preparation that we talk about paying off dividends right here with Tesla. Let's see how high we can get, man. We're backing through $4. It's a $2 winner right there, Neil. Neil's on XLF.
Yeah, we're into XLF for the first time here, and it's not never, but for the first time
in a while.
But pull back into prior high is going to be a bit of a play. IBIT just also popped back. So the short pop in IBIT into this prior high as well. So 35.8 on IBIT, and then XLF into VWAP here. We've got 35.65, giving it to that 75 level, just about a 10-cent range. So a couple of shorts. The market is headed lower initially. Oh, by the way, Nvidia, everybody. I know a lot of people looking at the chip names. Nvidia just dropped $4 instantly off the open. Cannot hold at all above that 190 level. So already the financial is going to try to get this one out going into the low. It already hit 50.25, so we've seen a 1% move, and now a bit of a battle back. So I'll play inside that 1% range.
I'm gonna ask Randy for a coffee. Maybe reload my guy over there. All right, man, we're $3 right now in the money on Tesla. And again, it's just about, honestly, guys, it's just, we talk about the Trader TV Academy. Go grab your Trader TV Academy right now. Start your journey with Trader TV Live and learn how to trade like Neil. You know, right here, Tesla, $400 long break. We had to wait for it. I don't like the breaks right away early. I did try it. I only crossed up 25 cents. But then it just came right back in, obviously on market weakness. So I'm right now out of about 30% of this trade. Looking to maybe, let me get out a little bit more right here at 401.20. This has been the highs. We've come back in and bounced off this a couple times. I don't know what this market wants to do right now, to be honest with you. I was initially thinking longs on the TQs and on the market, but for right now, let's just hold out and maybe it does find a bottom, and then we know that we're in Tesla, so that could be an absolutely monster run. We're up huge right now off of just one trade, so let's take that time and just, you know, relax and see where it wants to go from here. Because again, we're still in a decent position. Could fall back in against us, and if it does, man. We're out of here if that's what winds up happening. AMD, wow, choppy off the first 5 minutes because we had a huge move down, man. That was starting to get ramped up as the market opened up, and then I was like, wow, this is tanking. That went to 207, man. Now you're $5 in the money on the upside right there for AMD right now. So that's starting to get going. Here goes the market making lower moves right now. Tesla's giving some back here as we look at $400. I'll put an offer at $400.50. See if we get something there. What's up, Miss A?
I want to let you guys know here with AMD, there's actually an analyst note already on this from Mizuho saying that despite this meta deal, the squeeze in AMD has the potential to fade. We know it already kind of faded off that pre-market high. Basically, the reason Mizuho is saying this is because this is headline-driven trading and rivals like Nvidia and Broadcom are actually already positioned for these GPU and ASICs expansions. Also citing concerns here about the potential investor, I guess, skepticism with the warranty aspect of this AMD deal with Meta. Back to you.
There's also something here with Citron. Citron is short SNDK. So Citron is back, and this time they are setting their sights. I haven't read the report. I'm sure you can find it, but Citron, noted short seller.
Yeah, very smart. Those stocks are going lower.
They are short, Sanders. They're only down 1%, but if you see the spike at the open, Heck, it was gapped up, so it's actually significantly more than that. It's probably a couple of points to the downside here on SNDK. Not looking good for them, but Citron, that's what they do, and those stocks have been absolute rocket ships. So we're able to get half out into that low, but we're trying to break this local high. I'm only in XLF and IBIT. If you break the local high, I jump out and wait for the $51 level. This is a reversible trade for me. Oftentimes, I won't look in the other direction, but if we get above 51, last night I was thinking bounce day, but as long as we're underneath the 51 level, I got to give the chance to that short opportunity out there. Yeah, there's no bottom here on Nvidia yet. I want to say yet, but the chip name I liked was, oddly enough, Intel. And once again, Intel is dropped a couple of percentage points instantly at the open. That stock is such a dog.
All right, taking some more profits right now, man. $4 right now in the money on Tesla. We want to make sure that everybody catches a little bit of what we're doing here today. I'm posting up, this is Trader TV Academy. This is how we started, guys. This is how we learned. It's how we started. We all followed a very, very similar plan to all of this. This is our trader journey. This is the basics. Everything you need is here and more. Trader TV Academy. Go grab it right now. Link is in description. Link is also pinned right there. Okay, I'm going to go over that a lot more, but we're in a trade right now. There goes Tesla, $4. We're in silver here as well. I may regroup on this silver talk and just see what winds up happening here with SLV. Possibly just going to take it out if we break through 79. I don't really want to be in this anymore. We're already running this huge move upside right now in Tesla. Tesla almost 450 in the money right now. So our position board is gone again, but you guys know that we're in Tesla. We're short silver as well. So let's go over to Adara.
So here's the short report on Citron. They're basically saying that, quote, they don't ring a bell at the top and that they don't need Anthropic to announce they're making NAND because Samsung's already going to be the lead in this category. Also mentioning here that WDC, who of course we had that spin-off here of SanDisk from WDC, we know they sold a significant portion of its holdings. So Citron Research is interpreting this Western Digital sale as a sign that even they know that SanDisk is at the peak. Furthermore, they're comparing SanDisk negatively to Nvidia in terms of market reaction, saying that Nvidia has a moat and, quote, SanDisk sells a commodity. Last but not least, comparing shorting SanDisk to, quote, skating where the puck is going. By the time the cycle normalizes, the stock will already be much lower. So lots of different points here as to why Citron Research is short SanDisk. Back to you.
A wise hockey player named Wayne Gretzky used to say that exact point: skate where the puck is going and not where it has been. But SanDisk already started to flush. And the bounce is actually happening here in Nvidia. If you can hold over that 190, it does looking a little bit better. We're still in IBIT, or Bitcoin, I should say, underneath that prior market high, or we'll call it the pre-market high. It's a 24-hour market, so the pre-market high is just like 35.9 point. There were a couple of small caps to look at, but I got to go over to XLF. It has a chance to make this breakout through that 51. We tried to play the short underneath, got a couple of legs out. It did end up breaking that 50-70, but if we get above that 51, there's a bit of a gap fill that can play in here on XLF. And there was one other name that we didn't get a chance to talk about. You're in Tesla, which is going to the upside in an absolute rocket ship. Unfortunately, it's not taking Rivian with it. That's back underneath that key $15 level. It needs to hold under 15. This was the one trade we had on Rivian yesterday, which was holding under 15. If it does it again, I still like that trade for a bit of continuation on RIVN. Let us know what you guys also might be looking at. SoFi volume is flying. Apple, I see in there. Palantir, lots of names flying through. Just remember to hit that $sign or type the $sign so it shows up on our stock visualizer. For sure. But my eyeballs are all on this XLF. Decent chance that the banks could be making a bit of a break back to the upside, but it's got to hold 51s. Got to get to and hold above 51. Otherwise, I'm still looking for that short underneath the big resistance.
Yeah, I was talking about not really liking silver too much here with this kind of a recent move up right there in the market. So we're going to stop out if it breaks 79. I did take some out there at 75s. So if that does break, we're out of that stock, and then we'll sort of regroup it as we go. It's just a big day overall for me because we have this Tesla trade, right? I mean, this was, again, #1 trade for me on the long side. We were going to wait for the Qs, and we actually... The crazy thing about this all is we nailed the Qs as well. We said the low of the Qs would be what price over here? 48. I mean, it's just so crazy what we did right there. There's TQQ's 48 to 48.50. That was the bottom right there as we put it on the note. You guys can go find the sticky note. There it is right there, 48. Crazy, now it's at 49. So huge move right there, really proud to be able to talk about that as well. So we have Tesla with the long down there underneath 400. That's gonna be the big winner there. And then we missed the TQ trade. So I just wanna say, as long as you guys were on the sticky note, hopefully you have that move right there. Again, man, sign that, get that QR code right there, right now. It is a Trader TV Live Academy. It's live today. We worked a heck of a lot of time on this one. Videos all about what we're trading, how we traded, how we started. It's our journey is the most important thing right there. So go check that out. And it's very difficult to trade alone and sort of unguided. That's your guide right there. The Trader TV Academy, put some time into that. So go make sure you do check it out, yo. And you know, silver and Tesla, the ones that are helping this market. And I should have my P&L, but should have really taken this Nasdaq downside push there. Can't have them all, but you know, definitely we only have 4 names on here. So silver, Tesla, Qs, and AMD. We'll go look at AMD when we get back from Madeira.
There are so many Fed speakers right now, guys. They're literally all talking. I'm going to pull up my Fed calendar for you guys so you can see who's all talking this morning. But as of right now, I am seeing comments from Fed's Cook, Fed's Goolsbee, Fed's Waller, all at once. So just be aware, tons of Fed talk, a lot of which is centered around AI. Fed's Cook saying that the AI transition could have, quote, profound implications for monetary policy, but it's too early to actually know the details. While Fed's Waller is saying that AI won't completely take humans out of the picture and that it's a tool rather than a replacement. While Goolsbee talking here about the job market and growth, saying that both are pretty steady right now. Again, all 3 of these individuals speaking. Then at 3:15 p.m., we're going to get another round of Fed talk, this time from Barkin and Collins. Again, this infographic and way too many others can be found on X at TTV Research. No 9:45 a.m. numbers, though at 10 a.m. we'll be getting the CB Consumer Confidence print and the wholesale inventories month-over-month revised. If there are any more details here of Fed speak that are of note, I'll let you know, but I just did want to keep you guys apprised that we have tons of Fed speakers at this point, basically talking over one another. Back to you.
Yeah, so the Fed, obviously, they need to be at least a little bit concerned about AI. Why? Because that's half your mandate is going to be the labor market, guys. The Fed speak today, I don't think that's going to matter too much.
Randy brought our
We got
coffees.
Nvidia tomorrow.
Thank you, Randy.
Oh, shoot. Randy's like a ninja sometimes. Y'all heard Randy come? Okay. No one said, well, what is what it is. I'm going to grab
I was like looking, I was like, where's the coffees at? And then there it is right there.
No, I didn't,
wow.
I didn't hear or see him at all. But look, just hearing more about Citron and SanDisk, but we're back into XLF, and it did not break the 51. It's doing a little bit of a turn off of those highs. I still think this can be a breakout trade, but if we're gonna check up underneath the 51 level, then I'm gonna take that short into it. That Citron story continuing to circulate, but there's a bounce happening in SNDK. Remember just one thing. Remember that by the time these things are published, of course they already have a position. They're not hitting the short key here. Presumably, this is one where they could be out of the money on their short. Like, what are the chances that they actually have a good position on this? This is a little bit different. I'm used to seeing these where, you know, you hear the short report and it's already 10, 20% in the money. These guys might be sitting here floating one out of the money on SNDK, which is a bit of a different litmus. Oftentimes I'll think bounce play because of that, but this could actually be a squeeze if it takes out a fresh high. So back into XLF, we'll look for VWAP. If it's gonna be breaking higher like this, then I almost wanna play it back into the volume weighted average price. Yesterday was a dumpster fire for a lot of these names. Yeah, the entire sector pretty much. And then AMD, this could fill the whole gap in. That 200 we were joking about actually has a chance to come in later on this morning. So I'm gonna wait for it, but it was really technically Intel that I liked for the trade. It's not gonna end up getting to $45, so there's really nothing obvious sitting out in front. Unless that's an actual, I don't think that wick is real, but if it did break $45, that was only briefly for a couple of seconds. So if it gets back up there, then I would look for a bit of a fade, potential break, I guess, if it does. So lots of names moving around here. I saw ARM up 4.5%. That's fantastic for them. You got to think that any strength in Apple has been good for them. They're in every single device out there. As long as device demand is good, ARM is going to be a good one to grab.
So we just got stopped out of silver there, but it broke 79. Honestly, I was going to wait a little bit higher than that, but at the end of the day, it didn't it didn't work out. I would rather, honestly, like I'm already a little bit upset that we missed that futures trade, but we're really like cruising right now on Tesla. Like we're able to get that bottom. We took it pretty early on this one as well. We didn't wait like our sort of 5 minutes that we were gonna try to do, but it's because it broke through 400 and had a nice little move there. And then we're able to sort of respect that and wait for it a little bit, take some buys small. Once we broke through VWAP, we punched a little bit more long. So you're gonna see my prices start to get worse. Remember, it's first out. First in, first out there on Tesla. Guys, like honestly, this is the thing. It's all about the trader journey, the basics, our foundation. If you're wondering about what software we're using, that's here right now. The trader's journey, you click on that, you can start reading all about everything that we're doing, right? Neil, Sharif, Brendan, myself, all into here, the foundations of trading, stories from the trading floor. I mean, everyone likes to hear those. Right now, we are now $5 in the money here on Tesla as well. Introduction to, and before I took this course, I knew nothing about Tesla or trading or anything like that. And now I do. I can see clearly now the Academy is here. 403, nice move there. Going, gone. And we should have, honestly, had the futures, and we should probably still be in this SLV. Yeah, thanks for everybody for joining in today. It's been another banger of a day here, trading-wise. I haven't been following. I know Neil's been in a couple positions, so we'll see. He can obviously review those. SoFi down here at 18 bucks. That was probably a great long, key level again. Sort of held yesterday. Now busting through a little bit there. And remember, we said earlier. Someone in the chat said like, why is Sean so a heavy long when the market looked like it was coming back in? It did. It came back in perfect, and then boom, right off of our levels there of 48 bucks on the TQQs. So that turned out to be, just a waiting for it moment there. You would have it had to go. That's the problem with taking it right away. And I've even said in the chat, someone said like, yesterday we had that huge Qs trade, but we got stopped out of it early because we took it a bit too early. So I was sort of waiting, and then all of a sudden, boom, and we're already in Tesla, and Tesla being almost nearly $6 now to the upside. So, we still have about 35% of this trade, so we're watching out to see where that goes. But so far, so good here as we wait to see the reaction on Tesla. So, yeah, so far, so good. We do have a super chat. So we said, love you guys. I watch every afternoon from London. Thank you, and a big shout out to London. Big shout out to my good friend as well over there, Adam DeLuce. So thank you so much for that. Thoughts on Monday and the SaaS sector in general? Yeah, things have been getting absolutely crushed right now in that space. I'll go over that in a minute, but right now, here goes Tesla. We're gonna take another piece out, man. 550 as it's starting to go higher, higher, higher. We've already made 2.5, 3 times a daily goal on this one, but we like Tesla. Let's see. I think there's still more room to go over there. Neil, short XLF. I'm long Tesla right now.
Well, I got to keep in mind it's a pullback off the prior high, which is a VWAP out for me. That's part of the strategy. Look, it came into that prior high at 51, pull back into VWAP. I'm still in the back of my mind. I have to remind myself that yesterday I said I wanted a relief day in the financials. I did want this to be a long. It's got a liquidity grab bottom and attempting to put in a higher low. If it holds VWAP, this actually could be a bit of a long trade. So I know I've shorted it twice, but if it holds higher lows, I got to jump back to what I was thinking last night, which is a bit of a relief rally. Look, Monday's up 6 points, but it's not looking good. There's nothing about this that suggests that the story is over. It's a consolidation. I'll tell you every single time that a consolidation in an uptrend there's nothing bad about it. It's actually a good thing. But a consolidation in a downtrend, people always want to look for that low. But I always look at a consolidation as, well, until proven otherwise, the thing that was happening before is more likely to resume than the other. So it could break higher, but don't guess. Why guess? Allow it to actually break higher. It's just holding the bottom of this range. What's the what? If something is so bad, what's the worst thing about maybe getting it a little bit late? If you miss the first $10 of a move when it's down like 150, you can still get a great return if you get the rounded bottom. So it's proven nothing yet until it gets above 80 bucks. Let's go to Adara, I believe, at the desk.
I want to mention here, some of these software plays are seeing a bit of a change in the tide, if you will. Here is DOCU, DocuSign to the upside, 9:31 a.m., announcing an agreement with Anthropic Cowork. INTU, this came out well before the bell, but they also announced an agreement with Anthropic. So now we have some of these names that were getting hit by Anthropic now signing deals with them. So interesting look there. Keep an eye as well on META. CoinDesk reporting that Meta aims to enter the stablecoin space later this year. If I get more details, I'll let you know. That's all I'm seeing of that headline. Back to you.
Everybody's in the
stablecoin. You got a stablecoin. We got a stablecoin. Everybody got a stablecoin. All right. So yeah, so far so good here with Tesla. Look, we have a question there in the chat. Thank you so much for asking that. Thank you for all the nice comments. Salvador, man, real sees real. So shout out to you there, making some Tesla trades. Tough name to trade, that's for sure, Tesla. But at the end of the day, we had a question there. Why did I take the long here in Tesla? So, you know, I just talking about that key level break, right? I mean, yesterday we saw it break down below 400, and we sort of looked at that, and it just basically just tanked off of that, right? There was no stopping, going, nothing like that at all for Tesla, and then it just tanked back in. So again, I thought the market was a long today. I think that's where you got to base your first look, right? You got to have an opinion on what you think the market's going to do. So we thought short, we thought long there, hence why we put down long Nasdaq, right? It's too bad we don't have the long Nasdaq, but that just, it was a name that fit the bill, and there's probably better longs out there for sure. Like check out what Apple's been doing over here today as well. 267 up to 274. So that's been a nice move higher right there for Apple. But hey, man, we'll sit in this $5 range, a $5 name, like we said. I know we don't, you know, we've done real well on this trade, like I said, hitting our daily goals and just making sure that, you know, we're still in this spot when looking at a potential dump, 401.50. If we can break back down below that, maybe we'll get out of a little bit more of what we have left. We only have 25% right now on that one. And you're welcome, CompuCare team, and you as well. Have a blessed day, my friend, right there. But yeah, just the trading's been going really, really well. So, you know, really happy with it, you know, spending some time getting better, you know, using stuff like journaling and things like that that is available on our Trader TV Academy. So you can grab the Academy right now. It's now live, and we're really proud of that. Scan that QR code right there, link in description, everything. Grab it, and you can we'll talk about our journey, how we've learned, you know, different methods, the software that we're using. It's all there, right there. So
risk management,
yep, risk management,
trader
everything.
psychology. If you can imagine it, if you can think about it, if it's related to trading and a journey, then that's part of it. And like, I'll give you a perfect example. Like if I'm journaling this XLE, or XLF, I should say, actually I haven't looked at energy, I got to remind myself that today, the bias, like I had a bias last night based on the price action that ends up, you know, causing a bit of a fail because like that short doesn't hold the volume weighted average price. It actually continues, but because I was kind of wanting it to be a breakout long, I end up getting out of the short early. Now it is what it is. I said what I said. I want this to be a long. It was trying to put in a higher low, but it continues lower. So I have to respect the fact that the financials are still weak, and the third trade is very likely to be a short again. Even though I wanted it to hold VWAP, it didn't hold VWAP. It's back underneath. So you know the market can do whatever it wants, but the financials are not looking like they're bouncing. The third trade is going to be.
Guys, we do have link in description, link in the chat as well. Yeah. So some people saying the link isn't working, but it should be working. Just go into the description, check it out. tradertv.live.academy there as well. I'm going to put the link up. All the links are working. We've tested them out, guys. So if it's not, re-click it. We know it's getting busy on the Academy website. So definitely go back there, check it out. All the links should be good to go over there. So I just wanted to double check that. I went to go double check with Brendan to make sure that it was working. So definitely go grab that right now. There's also a sign up link here. I'll just put that right in the chat right now so you guys can look at it. We'll go over to Adara and then maybe we'll get that super chat. But watch out, I'm putting it in the link right now for anybody that's interested. I know it's
pinned at the top.
It's pinned as well, but just in case you guys, like for example, my chat doesn't show any pins on the top, so there it is right there, Trader TV Academy -sign up, okay? Let's go back over to Adara, and then we'll come right back over here and talk more about it.
Yeah, I'm going to be brief here. We have not one but two crypto-related catalysts. I'm going to start here with Coinbase, which is reportedly opening 24/5 stock trading to U.S. users. META, though, I mentioned CoinDesk reporting that it's going to have a stablecoin. I have more details on said reported stablecoin. Meta stablecoin reportedly planning a third-party vendor to help administer its stablecoin-based payments and a new wallet that will be implemented. Again, I have only the details I'm seeing from this report, but META stablecoin still on watch, still getting more details, guys. Back to you.
As always, we like to hit this key when we come back.
Thank you very much, Dara.
Yeah.
Because you have to, and
Thank you very much, Adara.
it's a lot of meta in the chat. So it's like patiently wait for a chance to get back into XLF, which obviously I shouldn't have got out of. Meta, yikes. See, we did say this news meant absolutely nothing to them, this AMD Meta partnership. Furthering their partnership. It's not new news that these guys have a deal. You go right back to brass tacks, which is Meta falling. Yeah, nothing has changed there. Absolutely nothing has changed as Meta continues to look pretty nasty. Stang in the chat just said, Neil, Rivian is defending 15. Yeah, that's why I haven't traded it. Because I'm not looking long on Rivian. If I was looking long on Rivian, you'd be long over the $15 level. But I'm just waiting for 15 to break down again. Like my initial look for this has been shorted until proven otherwise. But it is holding that 200 period at least temporarily. But there was it was like one shot breaking 15 yesterday. 15 sits at VWAP, so you could throw like a trend break, anything you want. But yeah, like I'm waiting for the short off that $15 level. If it holds on the if it holds, great. I think that's a good spot. You're looking at the right price. That's the first thing you always look at. You're trying to transact at the right price, but I want it to fail.
Oh man, our board is off again.
SOUN about to pop off. Okay, I haven't looked at SoundHound, so this will be the first time I'm pulling it up. I don't know if it's doing relative volume. Yeah, it's not looking bad. It's another one of these trying to make a dead cat bounce off of some of the lows. But yeah, 15-minute looks a heck of a lot better. You get like a mini breakout here with a bit of a gap fill on SoundHound. It'd be better if there was news, but I'm unaware of a story here.
Yeah, we'll get that story right now. We're back into silver. That's a new position alert. We'll see if it wants to work outside or work downside right now. It does pop to 70.20 there a little bit, so I think we can use that. Yes, Adara?
Sorry, SoundHound has news. They debuted a voice-powered AI sales assistant agent.
Nice, good. I do want to say thank you so much to Erie Pages right here for this comment. He wishes we had this academy years ago, and he is he's loving it. Right now, we do have a special, of course, introductory offer. You know, that's what's going to happen. It's $480 bucks. It's going to get you 3 months. Then there's a monthly recurring of 45 after that. That starts in June if you get it today. So go over, check it all out, finish this whole course, and then let us know what you think. Gives you access to P8, everything, software. You can go check out the software that we're using. All of this, $480 bucks. It gets you everything you want. It's a special introductory offer. So go over into your cart and sign out right now. Grab the site tour, whatever you want. Everything's here. It's going to go through the P8 software. You're going to go through all of our missions. This is your action hub, tracks your trades, monitors your stats. Like, this is an all-in-one sort of, I guess, area for you, hub is what we're calling it right now to join up with the Trader TV Live Academy. There's also campus. We had Wayne talking about that here. Learn with fellow traders, students, join the conversation, chat with peers, all of that. Get in some discussion groups. Maybe even Obi is going to be in there as well. The library. This is where you'll find additional information, learning materials, articles, guides, things that we're posting, blog posts. You can ask us questions in here. We're going to be responding to this, man. So this is exactly what we've wanted to do for you, put out a good quality program, and we've done it with Trader TV Academy. So make sure you guys do get all signed up immediately on that one for that introductory offer. Tesla coming back in right now as consumer confidence. We got to go over to Adara for consumer confidence, or no, wholesale trade right now. Let's go to Adara for numbers.
Both numbers, guys, CB Consumer Confidence and wholesale. So we'll start with CB Consumer Confidence because this was notably higher than expected, 91.2 versus 87.1 forecast, and also well above that 84.5 previous. So nice beat, for lack of a better term here, for the CB Consumer Confidence print. Wholesale inventories month-over-month flat and in line with the previous print, 0.2%. Wholesale sales month-over-month, though, this was a nice push above the forecast. 1% versus 0.2% forecast, though this was below the previous print of 1.3%. Richmond Fed Composite Index, this is the only number I'm seeing that's actually below the previous here and the estimate. So -10 for that Richmond Fed Composite Index versus -5 forecast, -6 previous. Trump also supposed to be speaking at 12:30 p.m. I wasn't initially seeing that on his calendar, but I will, of course, keep you guys all apprised. Here's the Nasdaq. Initially dropping here, it looks like, on this number, now trying to, I guess, stabilize itself a bit. We'll talk about AMD, by far, probably the biggest story of the day, announcing this partnership with Meta to expand with up to 6 gigawatts of Instinct GPUs from AMD under a multi-year agreement. We also have AMD CEO Lisa Su speaking probably 20 minutes ago now on CNBC, saying that Meta and its CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, have ambitious visions of how they see AI evolving over time. Now, we also had one intraday story that's broken already. That's going to be SanDisk SNDK right after the bell. We have Citron Research, of course, led by Andrew Left. They announced they're going to be short SNDK. I did provide kind of a rundown of the report and a link to the post itself on X and TTV Research, so you can get more details there. In the meantime, please hit the like, please hit the subscribe. Definitely look into Trader TV Academy as we send you back over to Sean and Neil.
As always, appreciated, and thank you very much, Dara. As usual, the market's starting to come back a little bit here. You have, so far, you've got a bit of a topping tail candle, but remember, it's been choppy in either direction. So just, the Nasdaq has not moved a ton from where we are at the open, but it has rinsed in both directions. So there's big time reversal happening in either direction. I'm going to play that trend break here on Intel, put it in the lower high. It doesn't get the $45, but it's put in a lower high and turn. So I'm going to short it back into that 44 level, at least for now. I already said XLF was a bit of a fail to jump out. It just double bottomed. So there hasn't been a bounce in the financials since we left. And if it comes back into VWAP, then that's where I'll take the next trade. You know, shouldn't have got it in the first place, but I was kind of long breakout biased, and it didn't make the breakout. You got to be able to move on to the next trade, and it is going to end up being a short one more time here. And if you're wondering about individual names in the space, load, JP Morgan has already broken through the lows. So the weakness in the banks has gone absolutely nowhere. They're on sale if you like them, if you happen to like them, although you might want to wait for them to settle down just a little bit. Look, I see a lot of people throwing names in the chat. Appreciate you for sure, but not a lot of small cappers that have been discussed. I know we'll talk about them a little bit later. That IWM was a big time, big time mover. So just the same for me. I'm back into Intel. Got to wait for a pop on that on the XLF. But with JP Morgan breaking the low, the momentum is still to the downside.
Okay, not too many left here for Tesla. We just got another piece out right there at 402.50. So we're in about a little bit more than 20, a little bit less than 20% maybe. I don't know. I've gotten a bunch out obviously here. You know, the banks are still heading a little lower right now. So we can have a quick little look at what the broader market is doing here as well. Make sure you guys do catch us on the Trader TV Academy, over 50 plus years of experience, all wrapped up there. Introductory offer happening right now. Check your email. You probably got an email about that as well. And we'll talk about, you know, relative strength and weakness. We'll talk about strategies, things like that, the process, how we've built, how we've gotten to where we are right now. It's Trader TV Academy. Make sure you do scan that QR code right now, right here, right now. All right, finance, man, still bad again today. What? And, you know, what's going on right now with some of these financials? Kind of a rhetorical question. We know that they've been selling off on, you know, worries again that the financial space is going to change. It's going into with more and more knowledge. Oh, Robinhood. Oh, Robinhood at $70. Let's have a quick little check there quickly before we go. But financials bad, like bad across the board today, and that would be good for Robinhood shorts. We talked about that break of $70. It looks like that happens immediately off the open. So a tough trade to take. It reminds me of that Tesla trade that we have, which Tesla right now is coming back in just a little bit. Let me take a piece out right here in 50s. There we go. We'll take that piece out as it just bouncing off VWAP a little bit, but definitely worried about this 400 spot right now, or sorry, 401 spot there on Tesla. Our stop on this, man, was not very, like, we're long here at 398. You know, basically our stop was 397. So we took $5 on a $1 stop. And as Neil said, Neil, look, no matter how many shares you're trading, like if you're trading 5 shares and, you know, you lose $1 on the trade, it's $5, not the end of the world. But on the next trade, remember your P&L is still minus $5. You know, so if you're going to start to ramp up your share size, you know, what you got to wind up doing is treat every trade, you know, kind of the same as far as what Neil always says, don't let your losers be too much bigger than your winners. You know, so regardless of what you're doing, and especially a stock like Tesla, and the reason why I talk about it is it's moving $4, $5, $6 right now. So even if you're trading 10 shares or something like that on a Tesla, and you're able to capture, you know, a $6 winner there, that's still $60. So don't then all of a sudden up your share size potentially the very next time and then take a $6 loser on like 20 shares, because then all of a sudden you'll be, down 120. So it's just a matter of looking regardless of your share size and say, hey, look, my winners, I'm up $6, my losers, I'm down $5, whatever it is, netting out that $1. So take a look, make sure that your trades are lining up. And that's kind of what I'm doing here with Tesla, trying to figure out where the stops are and everything like that, because we've already cashed out of the majority of this. Now, I don't want it to go all the way back in, so we're flat on that part, the last 10 or 15%. So we're going to take our stops, 401. Here, let's just put it out right now, 401, oops. $400.99. We'll get out of, how much do we have left? Okay, we'll get out of half of what we have left if it breaks down through that. So we'll just put offer, enter, do that, and now we'll see where we go from here. But yeah, man, this trade was good, man. Topped out at about 550. If it comes back in, we'll get out of half, hold that like 5% left, and go on that. We'll have about 7% left. If we wind up punching out, which it looks like it's going to happen right now. So getting ready on the keyboard. A little bit more there on silver. I wanted to take it into this 200 period moving average. So we let it go back up to the upside, not trading very many shares as we still try to manage our Tesla position, but I like it. The stop on this one, because of where we are, I'm going to give it to 79.50. Right into here. So if that can break through that level, we're going to get out. So just watching out for this silver trade, see if it wants to come back in. We're short at 79.01. Give it about 50 cents. See if it wants to work today. I don't know.
And it's something Sean just said there, not holding that last little bit all the way back through. He's going to punch out. Didn't have to punch out. He could set a trailing stop order.
Yeah.
And if you're wondering about all the tools that we have available to us, we've said time and time again, we have like multiple stop orders we can trade with all the different dark pools that are out there, every single gateway imaginable. The other thing that is in the academy, and I want to stress this, is the P8 system is where you'll be trading. You get to trade in the simulator here and learn the platform and learn to utilize the tools so you can engage in multiple strategies in the market. You get a chance to be able to download it. Of course, it's available on, if you have a Mac or Windows, it's going to be out there for you. So it's not just about, the market isn't just about the basics and figuring out a strategy. It's also understanding and making your platform work for you and utilizing the tools available. Now, I'm only in the one trade. I've only been in one at a time. But if you're in 2 or 3 trades at a time, you might want to have trailing stops. You might want to have a stop order. If you want to break out, do you want to sit there and try to punch the key? Like if this local high gets broken, am I going to hit a key, or am I going to let the stop do the work for me? I'm choosing to do the latter. But we just bounced off VWAP on Intel, so I took a couple of legs out. I don't know if I want to reload this a 3rd time, because a trend break should happen right away. And the other thing that we got to pay attention to is we have a chance. The market's holding on to this volume-weighted average price. It could try to break out. So the sentiment in the market is heading back to the upside. So you take what you can, but if it breaks the high, you jump out and wait for that next opportunity. If you see me looking up, it's AMD. AMD, here's the open. I'm just going to quickly draw this. It's moving enough that I don't want to ignore a potential trend here. So right from the prior to the open, it lost VWAP. It could be breaking this little bit of a downward trend that it's in. That could be explosive if AMD is able to do that. And then the other name, XLF, I don't have to tell you, I keep looking for this. Will it bounce? Obviously, it was a fail getting out of the short, but it didn't bounce off VWAP. It hasn't bounced off the lows. You can't short it back into VWAP if it doesn't go any higher. Market pressing and the financials still remaining weak. So it's going to take a little bit of patience to get back into this one. I'm not shorting this at the low of the day. I'm just looking for a pop to be able to fade to continue the trend. Yeah, major support was lost yesterday on the XLF. They're kind of in for a bad turn here. And some of it, look, some of it is there's weakness in JP Morgan for some political reasons as well. But you also have this blue owl in the private credit markets, kind of like a canary in the coal mine for the last few months. And that's weighing on a lot of the financials as well.
Yeah, so that looks like we might have just absolutely nailed that stopping zone there. It should have been a reload. So we'll get better at this, man. We're, like I said, we're definitely trying to get bigger, more shares, bigger trades, and right there for Tesla. Now $5 in and right back upside. So we nail that stop zone of 401. Just should have been a reload area there, but okay. We won't worry too much about that for right now, but that could have been a little bit better of a trade there on the reload. But we'll still take it, man. I mean, beggars cannot, especially in this situation, be choosers. You can see, obviously, by just watching both of us, how hard trading actually is. So we want to make sure that you guys are definitely part of, the academy. We've talked about that. Again, introductory offer. We're actually changing the link to tradertv.live. So if you just go to tradertv.live, you'll be able to see everything that you need right there, right now. So there's no confusion. So go to tradertv.live. That'll bring you right over into the academy, and you'll be able to get that. $480 gives you that 50+ years. Everything that we've talked about here on the show, all wrapped up into one. Nice little videos. You can see the Hampson man. That is Sharif there on the video with Brendo. Neil and I took down some great topics as well, including even stuff like imbalance locator and what that means, and just teaching, the discipline aspect of it all as well, and what it takes to get to the levels that we're at, right? And I don't think we're at any advanced levels here or anything like that, but it does give you an ability to learn same way we've learned, a lot of technique, a lot of good time spent on building this up. So tradertv.live, get over to it immediately and check it out, yo. All right, so just on that note, silver, we like the short. Silver was actually on here as a short near 79. When that broke early, it absolutely tanked. The reason why I'm sort of messing with it right now is because it's at that level again. So we don't mind actually looking at silver in and around here. We did mark down the Qs as a buy near 48. That's obviously gone. Let's see what else is moving around. Netflix there. Wow, Netflix had, what a day for Netflix today. It's actually right back where it started, but they had a huge move up and then first down, then up. So Netflix opens at 76, down to 75, back up to 77, back down to 75.50, now hovering in the middle. So that's a trade to look out for there today. We all thought AMD was saved. What just happened there? AMD.NQ. There today with that deal from Meta. Sure, it was saved because this thing was going way lower. And right now, you're going to get a good look at what's happening with Meta with AMD. Nice pullback. Still a good day for them, right? I mean, let's not cry over spilled milk here. A great day for Meta, for Meta. I keep saying
AMD.
it. For AMD.
It's not a good day for Meta
deal
at all,
Meta.
actually.
And it's not a great deal. Look, it's a great day for AMD, but what I was getting at is it's pulled back. So just be careful with this trade here, man. I don't know exactly where it wants to go, but it has pulled back quite nicely there into 210. So we wanted the short up here. We'll look to see if we can short it near VWAP, AMD, not Meta. You're right, Meta. Meta's actually... It was at 630, wasn't it? That was a key level, yeah. So it's still bouncing around 630.
You know what's bouncing?
What?
I don't want to jinx this.
Oh yes, we bought some yesterday.
I don't want to jinx this, but both PanW and Crowd are making some moves here.
Good.
Obviously, like the nastiness that you saw, IBM took the cake, but if you were paying attention earlier, it was CrowdStrike in the morning. The CrowdStrike and the financials, very, very nasty. But higher lows being put through. You haven't broken out yet. And then PanW, both these cybersecurity names. All you have to do is mention Claude, or even, it's what's so bad about CrowdStrike. It was like the CEO's like, see, I asked Claude if it could replace us, and it said no. The simple fact that you had to ask, that was the problem right then and there. Maybe it was seen as, I don't know, the market kind of took it as desperate. That's the only way that I want to think about it. Because ultimately, right now, it is a sell first and ask questions later, if there's even the thought that you could get disrupted. This XLF is really not bouncing, but here comes the first set of green candles. It is a trend break off the low, but I would like to see it get back into VWAP to try and reload this into the short. At least, hopefully, it'll be able to do that. Here in Fortinet as well, 1320 Wolf, whether it was Fortinet, whether it was PanW. Zscaler didn't have a very good day. CrowdStrike was the worst, but yeah, all of them got battered pretty decently. PanW held up a little bit better. I think that's because their earnings, they had already dropped a bunch.
Yeah, so yesterday I was able to buy PanW, but I bought it at lunchtime, so I think we're still probably close to under the water. I don't know, let's just say this price, I have no idea. Around 1 o'clock, 145 and change. So yeah, we're still right there. So nice little battle back day there for Pan. We have Salesforce reporting later this week as well. So that should be, that should be a fun one there. IBM, nice move back upside there. We can see Salesforce reporting tomorrow Should be, it's after, is it? No, Salesforce is before or after hours. Okay, so join Obi, myself, Adara, Brendan, all after hours tomorrow, where we'll be going over everything, related to earnings, which is going to be Nvidia, and there goes Salesforce, nice move as well, right there to the upside today. So some of these SaaS names starting to get a little bit of love back in. The IGV was the sort of gateway for this, and we've seen some, pretty bad trading happening in the IGV, but today up 1.4%, and at some point it's going to be so bad that it's good, right? So watch out for this name, trying to make a little bit of money on the IGV if you're going long. This is big software. I could imagine that Palantir is also, now I was going to say Palantir is battling back today, but it is not.
Palantir's down with IGV up?
Yeah, exactly. So that's sort of the surprise trade right there. We are getting near our push out point here for silver. We could have got out right there instead of averaging in. That would have been 15s, but we're not, well, I mean, for my standards, we're not playing very much size right here, right now. We're just going to wait on this. It's about like 1 unit or so. If it breaks above 50, then we'll get out and just be wrong on that play there on the short for silver. We tried it. We were able to take a little bit of profit there before getting stopped out. That put us about flat, and now we're just dealing with this problem as it goes a little higher right now. We'll give back, and again, we'll give back a little bit of what we made, obviously, on the Tesla trade. So the Tesla trade, for argument's sake, will be up. Well, we don't talk about P&Ls, but we'll lose about 20% or so of what we made on Tesla if this breaks higher. And to Neil's point, that's exactly what you want to do. If you're winners, you don't want your losers to be, 10x what your winners are, right? And so if you're looking, that's part of share size management, it's part of risk management, and I think that's what we do the best, risk manage. So you can look down at your P&Ls, and if your biggest loser is more than 3 or 4 times P&L, your biggest winner, you're probably not having a great day. And I know that for me, that can happen too, right? And so you're catching falling knives. Like yesterday, we got smoked on Google, then we were able to make it all back and put more money back in on Nvidia than we lost on Google. So I think that's really what you want to do. And we always talk about risk management here. I know that's something that Neil, we both preach, right? Your biggest loser on the day needs to be somewhere in line with your biggest winner, right? And I think
to come back to the academy for a
let's go.
Second, the ability, one of the things that's in here is the journaling.
Yeah.
You can not only do a trading review, but I think this is important, a mission review. What's your overall plan? Because I'll tell you, there's traders out there, and I know there are traders out there where you might be I trade one intraday swing. I call it intraday swing just because you might get one position in the futures and you hold that for the whole day. Sometimes that kind of trade, maybe you don't trade one day. Maybe you trade Monday, but you don't trade on Tuesday, and then you trade on Thursday. Or maybe you take a breakout one day and a mean reversion the next day, and those are apples to oranges. So also keep that in mind. That's the importance of journaling. That's why we believe in the Academy, because ultimately, you cannot just sit there and say that every single trade is exactly the same. And if you treat it that way, you're not necessarily taken seriously enough. In a journaling aspect, you'd say, okay, well, I traded this one off of the volume-weighted average price, and then later again off the VWAP. This is how one did. This is how I did poorly on the other. But you're comparing apples to apples. Sometimes P&L is going to hide that. Another reason why you should also frame your trading journey and your success over a longer time. If you want long-term success, think of it in the long term. That's another way that you got to remember.
Yeah,
Let's go over to, I believe it's Adara for the small cap recap. Haven't even looked at one today.
Indeed it is. It is small caps. Let's start here with EDSA, EDSA Biotech. This company here, roughly $9 million market cap, announcing additional data from its phase 3 study of paridiprudpart. So nice look there for EDSA. BRTX had the catalyst here as well. Biorestorative therapies, $3 million market cap, just under $3 million market cap, securing an Australian patent allowance for 3D brown adipose-derived stem cell aggregates. And last but not least, could you believe it? We have another small cap biotech name here. That's LRMR Therapeutics, LRMR. Name, I definitely recognize this ticker. I believe it's rallied in the past, roughly $335 million market cap, short float of just under 19%. And they're announcing an FDA breakthrough therapy designation for one of their treatments. Nice look there for LRMR, BRTX, and EDSA. Back to you.
Oh man, thank you, Adara. And yeah, man, love it in the chat. You know, definitely a good thing there. I was trying to find it there. I don't know how Sean holds it so long. Neither do I sometimes. There it goes, man. Huge move to the upside there for Tesla. Now $7 in on that one there. So that's a good trade coming through on that one, as we say. GG for that, and we say to you as well in the chat. Thank you, Zerex there. Good game, Tesla, good game right there. So, yeah, that's from Kids Slang right now. But, yeah, there goes, wow, Tesla really, really working it out, man. And this has just been such a crazy day to trade today, man. Oh, we did get silver, by the way. Slappy fail on silver. We'll flush that down the toilet right there on SLV. So there it goes. Right now they're through 379.50. Should have just stopped it right there. And like I said, like, you know, if you're going to be a risk manager, which you know, then you have to be careful with those trades because you don't want this just to blow up and give back. Well, we're not going to give back what we've made over here. That is for sure. So there it goes, man. Now 7 in the money off of the $400 call, right? I mean, that's all that it was. We're lucky to get lower than 400. Believed in the stock there and took it. And silver might turn around at that spot, but I'm not going to cry over milk that has spilt. All right, NVDA right now. We can afford some more milk. All right, there's Nvidia. Again, nice move back to the upside there. We're still looking to go short on AMD. We'll have a look at that price very, very soon.
AMD just went a trend break, actually.
Okay, so for me, I don't know. I don't really worry too much about trends, but we will have a little look here. 211 and change. Okay, yeah, so maybe there would be something here.
It's almost a VWAP.
To talk about, yeah, with almost at VWAP. So I'm going to wait for it to go a little bit higher there on AMD, maybe into this like 217 or so area where we've been stuck for a minute. So we'll see if it can get into that. That's, for me, a little bit of a safer spot right there. And we're just going to see how long we can hold Tesla for, to be honest with you, man. And that's what it is. Oh, there he is. What's up, Adam Deleuze, man? Thank you so much. And yeah, you've really helped me for sure with understanding this. And you and I have talked a lot about, you know, how to actually execute, and if you're going to use size and put on some, you know, different trades, how do you manage that? So I want to thank you for that, Adam. And I've really, you know, started to get a lot better at holding these things and holding on to a decent portion as we continue to run higher, right? So it's just, that's part of it, man. It's part of your journey, right? Everybody's on completely different journeys, and everybody has completely different everything, man. P&L, trading styles, stocks that you trade. Neil talked about we trade buyouts all day. I don't look at buyouts, Neil does. I look at pink sheets, Neil doesn't, right? So there's different things like that. That's all about it. But here we go, man. Tesla right now starting to go to the upside. Find what you guys do best and just keep on hammering it. And I think, you know, the proof is in the pudding here. You can always ask us, man, up, down, red, green, sideways, bad day, horrible day. We'll let you know, man. This is all part of our journey, and you've now found the best place to come to, and you can kick it off with our academy that's being launched today. Go to tradertv.live. It's over 50 plus years of experience. We talk just like this, but on video format, give you examples, talk about that journaling, everything like that. It's all here, right now. And on that note, man, we are very green today and really enjoying it, although we're 1 for 2. We lost on silver and up on Tesla. So that's going to be the difference, man. We've lost about 20% on SLV, maybe a little bit less than that now because Tesla's running that we made on silver. So good day there for that trade. And we'll just continue to go on, man. AMD, Meta, all the names that are big. I haven't looked at any low flow runners or anything here today. So maybe there are some small caps moving around and we can do a quick little look at that. It's already 10:30. Midday has Joe and Sharif. They're going to be all over the small caps. Is that Sharif's mode of preference there?
PK Willis. You said, do they not answer questions in here anymore? We try to do the best we can. The chat's moving, I've kind of noticed, a little bit faster than normal today, so apologies there. It is difficult to keep track. Like, I'm looking at this live just like everybody else, I think. So PK Willis, if you did have a question, if you tag our names, like go like at Neil or Sean, here, I'll show you. This is what it looks like. See how much easier it is? Then for sure we'll always catch it. It is what it is. And I think we're not trying to miss anything. But very quickly, I did mention there was that trend break on AMD. I'm not horribly bullish on this, but any trend break is a play to the volume weighted average price. It's also the open range top. So this is a play into there. So it's about 213. You get to 213, ring Reggie on that one, and then just take what's available for that trend break. Only because it's not just into VWAP, it's also the open range high on advanced micro devices. So it just pumped through 12, we're in at 11. I'm looking for 13s out. I've already taken half out. We'll play the rest into VWAP, and then we'll go up to Adara.
Keep an eye here on the credit card names. Only one I'm really seeing kind of get any move on this potentially is AXP. But just be aware, guys, that we do have it coming through. Elizabeth Warren, of course, U.S. Senator, saying that apparently the White House has not been cooperative with regards to credit card caps, she's saying the White House is not following through on their help with these credit card caps. So with that in mind, AXP at one point got a little bit of a bounce there. We know the concerns about these credit card caps did initially lead to a drop in this sector. Back to you.
Right.
Yeah. That's part of why you've seen the weakness in the XLF.
How it's going. We're posting up on X. Go make sure you go over to X. Go check us out, man, at Trader TV Research, at Trader TV Sean, at Trader TV Neil, at Trader TV Live, at Trader TV, it's Joseph, I think, at Trader TV Joseph up there as well. I don't know if Sharif probably doesn't have.
I have one.
You have one, Trader TV Adara?
Adara L, because the Adara is the one that Elon blocked. So
That's
Adara
right.
L.
Well, this is how it's going right now with Tesla. Now $9 right there. So thank you so much for that, man. It's a big winner. It's coming out right now. Good job so far on that one. And we're just going to tag Trader TV as well in this post that we're having. But yeah, decent job so far here on this Tesla trade.
Yeah, that's all it takes. It only takes one, and even if it's a small one. Like AMD, ultimately, this is a little too tight to VWAP to be like a $5 or $7 winner, but ultimately, you break here, your stop's there, we're risking about 50 pennies on that stuff, just a little bit more. We said it was into VWAP, so we're gonna take it into VWAP. That's always gonna be the play. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong. You gotta be able to, you take the good with the bad. Obviously, XLF was one of those reversion into VWAP where it fell through. This is holding the volume weighted average price. So it got up here. And this is another thing that whenever you're journaling, there is a difference between liking a level and it actually showing you a trade when it gets there. Like there was no reason to short VWAP on the way back through. It broke VWAP on the 3-minute candle. It then had a bottoming tail candle, a bottoming tail, not topping tail candle above the volume weighted average price. That's not bearish. That's like bullish. So if I'm looking for a short, it didn't give me a short entry. It still hasn't given me a short entry, so then I don't have to take the short. That has to be part of your game as well. For it to get to a price that you like and have the wherewithal to step back and wait for a better opportunity. So where that might come on XLF, I cannot say yet, but we are still underneath the prior low. So there is a chance that we could revert here, or I'm waiting for this top once again. So quick little scalp on AMD. Again, it only takes one. So that'll basically like wash it with IBIT this morning, make us slightly up, but it's XLF that's the miss. The other thing I always say is up, down, left, or right. If I said 51 short on XLF and did not hold it, or at least didn't find my way back underneath VWAP, that's a failed trade. Because I ultimately got out of the trade because of a bias I had yesterday instead of reading what was going on in the moment. I was biased to the long last night looking for a bounce play, and so we don't hold on as long as we could have. We got a few super chats in here. I saw one from Thanos, and for sure, if there's a couple, can you throw them up for us, Andre? There we go. Thanks for the Q level. 1 to 25 R to R win. There's 1 point. Thank you for the super chat from London. I'm actually going to London this year. See you in London.
Nice.
I haven't been to London since I was 13 years old.
It's amazing.
Which is
it's our best trip.
I didn't see anything. I literally was visiting family. We went into the city to go. I was actually in Leicester, and we're in London for 1 day to go shopping. So appreciate you so much.
Right. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for all the love on there as well. Oh, Thanos, another one. You're a blessing for my day. Well, thank you again. I mean, this has been happening a lot, and it's very humbling. So thank you so much, as you guys can clearly see what I'm doing and talking about it every single day. It is tough to trade live, as you can see. And, you know, like we were just mentioning, some days one of us will be down and one of us will be up. And it's just a good mix overall about how we learn, how we're doing it, things like that. So you're
keep to the plan, keep to the
yeah, exactly. Like your red today, you mentioned. Who cares?
Not anymore.
Right. Okay, perfect.
One like halfway move on AMD makes up for, and
exactly.
that's the key. AMD was a small win.
I look forward to joining the academy. There it is. He wants to join the academy. Good job, right there. We want you guys to all join it. And look, scan that QR code right there. $480. We're going to be well worth it. That's an introductory offer that gives you 3 months to go through the whole software. And you know, it's a great platform. We've worked a lot of time on it. You're going to see the high quality of it when you get over there. So please, you know, get over, subscribe, let us know some feedback, just like you just did right there. Thank you so much, Thanos. I mean, it means a lot to Neil, myself, Adara, everybody that's here, right? Like I said, you're going to find some bangers on the midday show as well here. So get ready for that with Sharif, Joe, and Adara. Hey, Adara, are you trading anything today?
Yeah, I mean, I had a nice little moment with Intuit. I am now out of that, but I was into it. And then HD, I'm kind of just chopping around on. But let's talk right now about Nasdaq, because that's what I'm here to talk to you guys about. But thank you for that shout out, Sean. Let's talk about Iran, because we do have, of course, some geopolitical tensions and concerns about potentially a increase in tensions there with Iran and the U.S. Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister, Ravanchi, saying that Tehran is ready to reach a deal with the U.S. as soon as possible. So again, we do have Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister, Ravanchi, saying that Iran and Tehran are hoping to reach a deal with the U.S. as soon as possible, and that they're hoping the U.S. displays the same willingness to reach a nuclear deal as they are. So Iran positioning themselves as, I guess, the more willing party here with regards to this U.S. nuclear deal. If I get any more details, I will keep you posted. But definitely, guys, make sure to check out that Trader TV Academy.
That's the most important thing today for sure. Get going on the Trader TV Live Academy. The water's warm, and when you're in there,
good water, hydration nation.
Add some posts. Like part of the academy is about. It's not just a group chat. Like you can blog about your experiences. You can add your ideas. Just join the conversation. It's about community out here at the end of the day, because you can't monitor every stock at once. And everyone always talks about 10,000 hours and screen time and this and that. Suffice to say, you want a lot of screen time, you want a lot of experience, but you know what's even better than sitting in front of a screen or learning from your own experience? That's actually gathering experience of others. There's over 50 years of experience combined. Well, we say 50 to make us sound younger.
No, combined.
But it's literally 50 between the two of us. If you combine it with everybody else, it's like way more than 50 years, if we're being honest about it. It is. I'm just saying, we're old. It's way more than 50 years if you combine everybody that's in there. Sharif, Brendan, myself, you. It's like probably like 65 or something. No, but it's about learning from others as well. It just expedites the process, because if somebody makes a mistake, like I was showing you the reason why I got out and why it was maybe a bad idea on XLF, and that's sort of the thing. Maybe you learn from that, maybe you don't. Why even though AMD, it was a trend break, like the bottom's down here, but I have the trend from there, so I'm getting a micro part of the move. Does that mean that from the bottom it was $5? Does that mean I try to hold it $5 if I think it's weak under VWAP? No, I don't try to make an extra $3 on the trade. The scalp trade is from there to there, based on those parameters. So that's what you try to do when you can. And appreciate you. We're still young. You're as young as you feel. Just keep that in mind. You're always just as young as you feel. And in order to stay young, one of the things you got to do is try new things every single day, live vicariously through your kids. That's one of the reasons I love traveling a lot. We got Vincent Guimont. Going to assume you're out there in
Vincent
Quebec.
Guimont?
5 Canadian dollars. That's why I'm assuming you're out there in Quebec. Let us know where from. AMD, Micron, DEMD, TQs, SQs. Nice 2 hours of work as always. Thanks for everything, Trader TV Live. I haven't looked
QQQ trade.
I haven't looked at Micron today. AMD for sure. That's been both it's actually still a good short off the volume weighted average price. If you had that one early or late, bit of a trend break. And Micron, there's one that we have not mentioned. Weakness in Micron. That's only now getting back off some of the lows. Micron is a weirdly manipulated stock the last couple of days. If it starts doing this, just note, look at this little I don't know what we call it, called heartbeat action maybe, like EKG or something. Within a range, heartbeat action. If it starts doing it again, just note you can probably scalp that through lunchtime. If it starts doing this whole, go to VWAP and then pull back a couple bucks, go to VWAP, pull back a couple bucks over and over. That's when we like to think a stock is controlled, basically.
I was going to say, what I want to get at too, obviously, was the best way to get. We've told you we switched the link up there. The best way to get there is by scanning that QR code right there below, and you guys can definitely check it out on socials as well. These are the trades that we talked about today: short in AMD, short in silver. The silver short will be a fail, obviously, as that's going to be the loser that we have. And then this TQQ long between 48 to 48.50. We just said long here, trying to wait for the first 10 to 15 minutes to see if we get any support to form, right? And that's sort of what we talked about right into there. So these 4 trade ideas, and then the Tesla long. That's 9 right now in the money. But that TQQ trade, the thing is we wrote down between 48 to 48.50 is where we wanted it, right? And I mean, come on. We wrote that down, basically 8 o'clock when we were writing the note there. We had Wayne on. Thanks for Wayne for coming through. And then this happened, all the way back into, like, it literally goes right to 48 bucks. We were obviously dealing with Tesla, which I'm very happy to do that, but we can hold more than one position at once. Definitely known for doing that. I used to hold like 4 or 5 at once. And then all of a sudden, boom goes TQs right there to the upside. And I know this is not the Nasdaq, it's a triple levered Nasdaq product. So there it was though. What a great trade there. And it just reminded me of the super chat. You were talking about SQQ and TQQ and all that, and boom goes a dynamite, man, straight to the upside. So if you're following on the note right there, you'll have some good ideas today at least. And I'm glad that we at least followed this one to the promised land. Wow, now it's $10. That's 2, that's 3, that's 4, that's 5, that's 6, that's 7, that's 8, that's 9. I mean, this is an option. Like if you're trading options as well, good move there. I mean, I don't really know why Tesla was sort of down, went back into Flatsville there. They had a nice run up at the end of the day, which sort of falsified, that move to the high side there, but it does come in, and there goes Tesla just blowing there to the upside. And, more to trade, right? It's 1040. There's lots out there other than just Tesla. We do get a nice bounce off of Bitcoin as well. That's really good, man. And glad that we didn't even come close to that 60,000 there last night. The best we got to was about 62.5, and there's the hold on that one. So watch out for that coming through now. 62.5 and change there for Bitcoin. The US dollar has been holding. Is this going to be the right one to look at, the DXY? Okay, yeah, 15-minute chart. Actually, nice little upside move here for the dollar. So that's pretty good here today. A little bit of a fall, a little bit of a spike down there. I don't know what the reason for that particular move is there on the DXY, but a nice move down. We just had some numbers, so maybe there was something about that. And then just more on a broader note here as we look to see what's moving around versus what isn't moving around right now. Here it is right here. The financials were the big surprise. I actually thought we could battle back today on some of these names. We saw battle back there. We bought some Pan W yesterday. That's trying to battle back as well. It's the financials right now that seem to be some of the worst spots. I mean, Eli Lilly's done well off that Novo Nordisk. They're at about 1,050, right? Yeah. What? Okay, that was pretty lucky. 1,050 right on there for Eli Lilly, so they're holding out. We had Wayne on earlier. He talked about Pfizer was a pretty popular look for some of the traders that he was dealing with lately. So there's Pfizer coming through again today. Nice move higher, up 0.72. $26 or so for Pfizer, 27, so off on that one. So this space is actually working out quite nice there today. There's our boy Tesla, nice move there. And then the oil energies down. We actually haven't talked too much about oil as a downside. I guess there was some threat, obviously, over the last couple days there about Iran and how that's going to play out. I don't know where that's gone, Adara, right now, but
you just mentioned Iran said they're willing to make a deal.
Perfect. So there you go. So that would be a good reason for the energy markets to pull back a little bit because less strife in your life. Shout out to my wife.
Make it rhyme.
Quickly before we go to Sector Watch, SLV has been on an uptrend since the bottom in the pre-market. It's now threatening to break that.
For the first time today, we'll go to Adair. We'll see. Maybe it hasn't confirmed breaking this trend. It's been a couple of green candles since. But let's go up to the desk at Adair. We'll come right back and see if silver continues this move.
We'll be quick here then. Lots of strength to talk about. Electronic tech actually looking quite strong. I mean, RTX and Broadcom slightly red, but Apple, AMD, of course, with its Meta deal, Intel, which has its own deal with Sampanova. We've got Qualcomm to the upside. So a lot of these chips plus Apple doing quite well. Nvidia a day ahead of its earnings report and potentially with antipathy on AMD. NVDA trading a little bit lower here. Tech services, meanwhile, I mean, Google and Palantir red, but a lot of these names that have been beaten up as of late actually trading higher today. CRM up 5%, Synopsys up 4%, Oracle up 3%, Adobe up 4%. So nice look there. Retail trade to the upside, consumer durables to the upside, consumer services, producer manufacturing, transportation, industrial services, commercial, process industries all strong. In terms of weakness, I mean, finance still quite red. We talked about how Senator Elizabeth Warren said the White House is not cooperating quite as much as they were maybe supposed to on this credit card cap situation. Health services getting beaten up here a bit as well, with UNH down 2.5%, and this whole sector actually quite weak. We've got Elevance as well down 3 1/3. Back to you.
Thanks, Adara. And one other thing that's happening is you might see the market going higher. That VIX, yeah, double top. That's going to be good if you're bullish anyways. It's a good double top. We're going to break through, literally breaking through 20 on the VIX right now. So a bit of a reversal, but let's be real. We haven't really broken outside of the range in either direction, but there's still room to go. So there's room for the market to climb a little bit higher. Just keep in mind on the Nasdaq, we're literally at 25,000. As we speak. So you're testing, effectively we're testing where we failed at the open yesterday. So it's a good spot to look for, I think, some mean reversions or ring the Reggie. As I mentioned right now, silver, just going from, this isn't necessarily the open, but it's a low this morning. There's a higher low that got put in at the open, a higher low at VWAP, and it's trying to roll over. It hasn't really confirmed any weakness on this trend line. It's still trending up. Like this candle tried to break down the trend line, didn't, keeps on making higher lows, keeps on making higher lows. At some point, this might end up breaking out the top, and then this whole reversion would be kaput. The other way you could trade this if you wanted is, and there's always another opportunity, you could simply, if you can't or don't want to short, there's ZSL, which is obviously just going to be the inverse, and it can break the trend doing the same thing, and you could just like punch long if this breaks the trend. So another way that you could take that kind of a trade if you liked it on SLV. I'm looking specifically at SLV. It's like the way it's moving.
Yeah, I love that SLV. The biggest, I was saying this before, the biggest trade in Trader TV Live history was SLV. We shorted 90s that one day when it absolutely collapsed, and we were starting to cover into the 70s, 80s, and 70s there. That was an absolute, it was on VWAP, and then it absolutely cracked that day. And yeah, today, man, we had, as one of the 4 names, we had silver written down as, of course, that long, short in 79, but it was long today. And 79, we tried it and lost it, as we said, but that's part of doing business. You can't have it. Point of control. I was just saying, what's up, Trader Forever? I was just looking at the point of control. So I inserted something here on blah, 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 e-signal right now. And I have the point of control right here at 274 or so. And I just wanted to make sure that it was right with what everybody else is doing. Big scalp there yesterday, who was in the chat, was alerting me to that. And I just wanted to see what was going on. So on Apple, nice move higher right there on the day, trying to break now. That would make sense if, if that is the point of control. So trades trading underneath it, trading over it. They have VWAP here as well, just automatically being calculated. I don't, that's the right VWAP price, so 270, 270. So I'm imagining that rate there is your POC, point of control. So I'm just going, like I said, man, that's all part of the Trader TV Live Academy, to be honest with you. Learn more about what we're talking about right here. This is the platform, man, you can click on. Once you're enrolled, like I am, you get the journey, the basics, the software that we're using, our trading, the first trades, what kind of trading you want to do as a beginning trader, what you want to do as a graduated trader, right? There's lots of traders around here, ungraduated, looking to get into that. So you want to start at your first trades, get into this area, and this is like a key, unlock that sort of nice little sunshine moment there. And then talk about P8 as well, our basic course and the advanced course. But it's all right here, right now. We talked about journaling, the missions, everything. Here's our campus. This is where you can become one with many, right? And we talk about the group. This is a shared place. So once you're a member, you can start attaching different things here. Here's the last update. So I've been posting as well. Brendan's been posting. Neil has a post here. And this is what it's all about. So join us over here on campus right now at Trader TV Live. Go grab that, scan that QR code. There's an introductory offer of just $480. I think you're gonna find that that's very much worth it to learn just a little bit about what we're doing. You guys have asked for it, and there it is. It's the Trader TV Live campus now available. We've taken $10, we told you, on Tesla. Looks like it might be finally breaking a little lower. So this could even be a good short area here as well, 406.50. So we're just gonna get, you know what, now that I see that, I'm gonna get another piece out. And this is part of what we talk about, the mental aspect, right? Just because I'm long doesn't mean I'm gonna stay long forever. We can switch it up. Right there again. The only long that, I mean, we missed the TQs, that's obvious. And then Nvidia, I wanted the long, but, you know, again, too obsessed with, and to be obsessed with the stock that's the #1 P&L and just crush for me is fine. But we do miss Nvidia and the TQQs. And then we focused on the short on silver, which was wrong. So, all right, man, it's 10:47. We'll get what's for lunch. Neil saw it yesterday, and he told me it's going to be a fun one. So I'm excited for it.
No, that's not what I said at all.
Well, yeah, you said it would be interesting or something.
Yeah, but it was the face I was making while I was doing it.
Yeah, a fun face.
I was trying to...
Do the face now so everyone can see it. There we go. See, there you go. So
that's a sarcastic smile.
We'll see what it is, man. You're going to get what's for lunch coming up. We got to go over to Adara. I don't think it's Money Talks yet, is it? Or you just got an update. What's up, Adara?
Yeah, here's Fortinet, FTNT on watch. I am seeing a report from a website called hackread.com saying that apparently, according to Amazon Intel, a low-skill Russian hacker used commercial AI tools to breach hundreds of FortiGate devices worldwide. So again, FTNT reported, and I guess at this point, speculative AI breach here for FTNT. If I get more details or any confirmation, I'll let you know. Back to you.
We appreciate it, Dara. Well, I'll let you know when silver stops going up because it's not. It's continuing to go higher. I actually, look, at the open, you're looking at what you're looking at. So I bet the last couple of days has always been something I look at the open. Obviously, XLF was a bit more of a concern for me. But at the bottom of the list was silver at a 78 long. The thing about that is your chance at 9:30 to have gotten the 78 long was for maybe, I don't know, a fraction of a second. There's one little wick that challenges 78, not 98, 78, that challenged it and then immediately to the upside. So it's still trying to battle this trend line, but it's all green going in. So I can just watch it ride this trend line up. If there's never a turn, like this channel is now, it's like a really tight channel on the 3-minute. If it breaks it down, it would just be short, give it to the prior bar high on SLV. I'm gonna save. That's another thing. Good thing about P8 is I can save my trend lines. Hey, they show up on my 15-minute as well. So I use a 3-minute, a 15-minute, a daily. Yeah. In my intraday charts, it'll save, and that's another part of the academy is that you're able to use and train on the platform that we use as well, which is P8, which is fantastic. Nvidia just looks like it broke. No, well, 92s. Hey, reminder on Nvidia. They report tomorrow. If you don't know, you should know. They report tomorrow after the bell. 194. Once, multiple times at 93, and then back here it's failed the 94 level. It has been a brick wall of sellers for quite some time at that price. I don't think anything necessarily changes. If it gets up there, I would think of it as a fade. And then AMD, which was the bell of everyone's ball for like at least, I don't know, a half hour in the pre-market. Not really. 3 candles in the pre-market, that was about it. And then a little bit of a bounce. It does fail that volume weighted average price. So, still kind of working on a downtrend from the pre-market here on AMD. But it's either XLF or SLV. And I feel like SLV is the trend break that I'm waiting for my next execution here. Strong day for them, which is interesting because the market's bouncing. I'm not a huge believer that silver holds an uptrend into the market strength, right? Like if it's supposed to be turmoil, causes people to fly to safety, I don't think this holds on forever.
Yeah, no, same right here. I mean, that's why we had it figured out there. All right, man, that's end of a trade, man. We can go face slapper right there as Tesla breaks 406. I mean, we had very small piece left on that one, and there it goes. We have even talked about the short there in silver. So props up to anybody that got that little tidbit from me there as it was breaking. And we were just getting out, noticing that that shelf was a problem. We gave our last 5% a little bit of a run there, and we cash out. But there it is, man. The short just hits again. $10 on Tesla. Not too shabby there. And that's basically my whole day. We'll give back a little bit on SLV and Tesla. So 2 trades for me today, and 2 really clean trades. Thank you there, Mr. Joseph Options over there. Looking sharp, man. This guy, I'm trying to get my vest game going there, but Joe is killing it right here. And then Sharif acting like it's summer over here with his...
which it most certainly is not.
With his short sleeves going on over here. All right, money talks, then it's going to be what's for lunch.
I know what's for lunch potentially here in the DXY, and that would be a breakout. We have yesterday relatively flat session. Today, right now, green, and I mean that 98.10s more or less level from Thursday and Friday certainly could come back into play. Currently trading around 97.9 for that US dollar. We did have some economic data coming through at 10 a.m. CB consumer confidence 91.2, decently above that forecast of 87.1. Wholesale sales above estimates as well, though Richmond Fed Composite Index -10, that would be below the forecast of -5. Tons of Fed speak on deck. We already got most of it at this point. We had Fed's Cook and Fed's Waller both talking about AI. Fed's Goolsbee saying that he doesn't think, I guess he does think there's like fairly steady labor here, right? So some of these labor concerns being downplayed a bit by Fed's Goolsbee. But at 3:15 p.m., guys, right fresh into Power Hour, we're going to be having Fed's Barkin and Fed's Collin coming out here. So stay tuned, 3:15 p.m. More Fed talk on watch. We've already had the vast majority of the Fed in terms of economic data. We're not going to get too much of it until Friday when we get those PPI prints. Back to you.
Lots of Fed speak today. And then actually not after the bell, into the closing bell, we get a couple more. That's just how it's going to be. So silver with the first trend break of the day. Well, it broke a downtrend to go to the upside pretty much at the open, but finally broke that trend line. We'll play it back into VWAP. The prior bar ends up being the high, so it's kind of easy. You just sort of give it to the high watermark. AMD still doing the same thing. XLF is the only other name right now that looks like a potential re-entry. Something going on in XLF. I'm going to show you on the 15-minute chart here. It's got a pretty nice, it's obviously a very volatile name, but if you go this low or high, it could, if it breaks trend, it's holding yesterday's low. I know I said I wasn't bearish enough on this name, but I got to respect it. If it's able to break above 50, 60, then on the 15-minute, that would be puts for the short until about 51. If it holds and confirms the trend on the 15-minute, then that can be an entry into the south side for XLF. But it's now on the higher time frame that I got to look for the financials. And ultimately, it's been not very good. I look at JP Morgan actually doing worse than the group, which is worth keeping in mind, but it's also threatening a bit of a breakout locally. That's not the right moment to jump in when you're getting that reversal pattern for the break to the upside.
All right, so good question here. Where is my head on BBAI? I was just going to try to find out. I thought their report is
March 2nd
coming
or 3rd?
up. Yeah, it's March. It's confirmed for March 2nd.
Next week.
So we're a little ways for Big Bear AI, and then Palantir, we're already through it. So yeah, I mean, you know, I didn't average in at all to this, so I'm still stuck long. I'm long at 420, and we were long at 420 during this whole move up, and I don't want to buy anything ahead of earnings. That's all. Like, we've seen some great stocks like Palantir, which was the other part of the question, that came out with a monster earnings report. There was nothing wrong in that report. You go back and look at it, and you find me the mistake that Palantir has, and you know, we'll see if it should be down 40%. But I don't, you know, as a lot of this, like we saw IBM get crushed. You know, we're seeing Palantir get hit. As again, like, there's a lot of worry that some of these, you know, platforms that a name like BBAI with some of their heat sensors and you know, scanning equipment and all that, you know, can this get replicated by, you know, other competitors easily now with the way that you can format. You know, we even talked about those Mac Minis. Like, people are literally trying to duplicate things and run off of platforms where you don't need these software as a service kind of plays. I believe Big Bear AI and Palantir, both with what they have there, their foundries and the systems that they're locked into, the contracts that they have. I know they just take data and work with it, right? I mean, and that's part of the problem, is what people think about that space. But you got to get the contract. Like, they have government contracts that aren't going anywhere, Palantir, as with Big Bear AI. So I just think once the dust settles on the IGV and on these software names, that a name like Palantir does rocket back up to the upside. But I'm not buying any dips, man. I really think that I want to wait. I actually would love to be in cash, and I'm not. So I think it's a little too late to sell it right now. So I'm going to have to hold on to some Big Bear AI and some Palantir. But I will push the button on Big Bear. If Big Bear can show any kind of profitability, the stock will moon. But if they do that, I'll buy it almost regardless. So we'll wait for some Big Bear AI. I do believe in that. I don't believe potentially in what's happening for lunch today based on Neil's reaction. So we're going to call it up right now. And I've already seen it. Today, it's a Canadian flag. So this is the thing. And you're going to understand why. Because it's maple glazed farmed tilapia. So right there, maple glazed tilapia today.
I like one part of that.
So for me, it's an easy one, man. This is always me when this is what it is. It's a puff pass on the tilapia. I got salmon. I think some of the guys, I think Joe gets a salmon over there. Neil and Brennan still rolling with tilapia. And I hope it's going to be good. I mean, I really think.
Well, the teriyaki has been okay.
Yeah.
So maple, like, I'm down with anything.
I actually really used to like the tilapia, and then all of a sudden they tried to do sushi tilapia one day, and that was not my
that's
favorite.
Not what you're looking for.
Roasted seasoned vegetables, that seems pretty Canadian to me. With garlic mashed potatoes, again, pretty Canadian to me. And if our chef is Canadian, it is Chef's Choice salad. So we say, "Oh Canada" today for maple glazed tilapia with roasted seasoned veg. Maybe my salmon will have a little sprinkle on there, but hey, guys.
It'll probably be the maple as well.
Yeah, I hope so anyways. Remember last time it was that green stuff there. So yeah, it should be good, man. I hope it's good, and I'm sure it will
stuff?
be.
Yeah.
I could get back onto the, if the tilapia is cooked well, I get right back onto that front right now. It was hard-boiled eggs, so today as well.
I mean, come on, Adam.
That's what I'm saying.
You may as well eat battery acid.
That's why I switched my guy. Right there. I think battery acid probably a little worse.
Probably.
There, I don't know.
Like, we're not trying to kill Pennywise here.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know exactly what's going on. Shout out there. What's up, Bond? There was that going on, the 007 there, N64, man, the best video game of all time. 007 for N64.
That's taking it.
Find a better one. I mean, honestly. I think Mario Kart's fun to play with a lot of friends, but that really takes us back.
There were a lot of Friday night.
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye. Wow. That was the jam.
Those were the jam.
You just can't use, you know what's up, man.
Running to Blockbuster.
Couple dudes you're not supposed to. Baron Samdi would be legit. Blockbuster for extra controller. Now nobody knows what we're talking about. Blockbuster was the jam back in the day.
1 minute left. You can get this academy all day long. Sharif's going to be talking about it. Joe's going to be talking about it. It's exactly the way they learned. It's the way we learned. We're going to be adding some options aspects into that academy as well. Make sure you scan that QR code today. It's an introductory offer, Sharif. It's $480. I mean, can't beat that. Grab that there. You got 3 months of unlimited access into the academy. The software is all there. 60+ lessons. Exclusive software. So not only can you get into the $10 club today, you also have exclusive membership into the academy. So get over there, hit that QR code. Let's get ready to rock and roll with Trader TV Live. Today is the day we've been waiting for. We want to thank everybody for scanning that QR code. You guys scanned it too much. It broke it. You got to go to tradertv.live right now.
Well,
that QR code will work. We're really excited for the participation.
Super easy to find. Just go to tradertv.live. It's super easy to find. So I know the QR code and the link sometimes not working, but you can find out everything you need to know and sign up today. We'll be talking about it and answering questions about it all day long. For now, we're going to go get the most Canadian meal of all time, apparently. Not really.
Now, ribs. I think ribs would be.
Poutine.
Poutine's not really a meal.
Poutine, yeah, but poutine is a meal.
You can eat it as a meal, but
you can eat poutine as a meal.
You could, but it's like you could eat loaded fries as a meal.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not a healthy meal. It's not a complete meal, but it's definitely definitely a meal.
Come on, Sharif over there.
Sharif is having some issues.
This guy really wants us to owe us some time over here. He's panicking. He's got to get the mic going. He was doing the academy, now he's panicking. So, yeah, we're ready to rock and roll momentarily.
He's doing curls with the microphone.
Yeah, exactly. He's doing the curl.
Right, he's locked and loaded, ready to go. We'll be back at 2 o'clock. Don't forget, sign up for the academy. Listen to Joey Options and the Professor right now. Peace.